Hey guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly... What am I going to be? Your friendly game master? Your grim and perilous master?
Something like that.
What do we settle on?
I think it's Game Master.
I think it's Game Master? I'm going to be your favorite Grim Master.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. Today we are kicking off the actual first play session of our new campaign playing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 2nd Edition from Green Ronin and Black Library. Or Black Industries, not Black Library. And with me today are the stars of the Warhammer Fantasy campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you guys tell us who you are and who you're playing. First up, we've got Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl, and I'm playing Gariel Blacktooth, who is a dwarven, let's say gambler.
Real Black.
That's his career.
Nice. Yes, he's had a rough road thus far. Abandoned by his family. Trying to grow up in the mean streets of Langille. Mm-hmm. It's a tough life. Next up is Mo.
Hi, I'm Morris. I'm playing Odoric, who is a noble.
Nice, a Bretonnian noble at that too. Because our campaign is actually set in Bretonia using the Knights of the Grail sourcebook for Bretonia. And last but certainly not least, he's very small, so it's easy to miss his character. Yes, Sean.
Yes, my name's Sean. I am indeed playing a halfling, Jacob Silvercobble. He is a highly respected member of his people, being a field warden, or at least a former field warden. Born in Bretonia, but feels a desire and strives to have a connection to his to the Moot, and
Very nice.
Did some time there as a field warden, but is back in Bretonia.
Excellent. So speaking of Bretonia, guys, let's. I did not load the. Oh, what is this here? Oh, dang it! I was trying to load a. Give me one moment here. I'm gonna load one more thing through the transmogrifier. I was trying to load an image that I really liked from another game we've run, and because I can feel Arlen's judgment on me already, because I never label any of the names of any of my pages. I'm like, is it the start? Is it the start copy 1? Is it the start copy? Which one is the one I want? All right, here. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. 2 moments here, guys. I'll copy the... I only have 2 other pages on that one, so hopefully it will not be too long. Yes! Yes. I got what I wanted. All right, so let me, however, first bring you guys over to our map of Bretonia. So, whoopsies. Go away. And I'll put you in the map layer. There we go. Guys, this is the land of our campaign. So, our campaign is going to be taking place, or kicking off at least in Langille, the capital of the province of Langille. The capital, as it were, of Bretonia is here in Coron. But I know that you guys have sort of traveled around elsewhere. We talked a lot in our last session about Moussillon, the kind of cursed barony, and that is right here. And yeah, I think what we'll do, guys, is let me see if I've got the right. Oh yes, so I want to get us in the right mood for the old world and in Bretonia. So this was the image I was wanting to track down here. Go. And I think that we also need to make a little bit of a change. This has been great for our character creation, but let's see here. Something a little more somber for our time in the old world. So, guys, why don't we talk a little bit about where you are finding yourselves in I think either did your wounds go up, Jacob?
Yeah, they did from a advance, a talent.
Okay.
And it shows 10 out of 10 for current and max on my sheet, but I don't know. I'm not sure what the 9 is on the right.
I think that the 9 you may need to set manually. It's not keyed so that when you put your current, it links up. Like with the fate points, or fortune points, I actually had to put in the base level that it's leveling against. So like when you update it, like if I hit you for 6 points of damage,
yep,
your character sheet should adjust by 6 now for current.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay.
So if I put it back to 9 now, the number on the right you think will be correct?
No. I think that what you're gonna have to do is manually enter the number on the right.
Oh, it's good now.
Yep.
We're all good.
Yeah, it sort of changed.
Yeah, because I had 10. It was 10 on my end the whole time, so it just wasn't refreshing or something. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Great. Then, so the city of Longeville is a port city. This is one of not one of, it is the most cosmopolitan place in all of Bretonnia. But the city itself is built up and around the ocean and the trade that comes in from the Empire, from Estalia, from the Tylean city-states, from all over the old world. And our heroes, let's see here, we knew that we're down 1 player today, so we're going to have to kind of work around. We had sort of set up that, Orderic, you were waiting to hear from your cousin, right, from one of the ostensibly one of the poorer relations or branches of the family, but in fact it sounds like your family was actually a little more skint, as it were, than what theirs was. Geralt and Oderic are now, erstwhile allies because of their shared love of gambling, and I guess how does Oderic feel about Geralt's kind of his more rough and tumble friends and his the seedier part of his life?
Well, he's sort of like he's not following the normal noble's path. I mean, he's probably he probably doesn't consider them equals, but he's quite happy to be friendly.
Yep. Now, one thing we talked about in the character creation session was one of the big differences, or one of the big, not necessarily differences, but one of the signature things about the Bretonnian society as opposed to the Empire is the clear delineation between nobility and the commoners. There really isn't a middle class that interacts with the other two parts of the society. And there are, in fact, actual laws in place, sumptuary laws that dictate what you can wear, what you can't, what you can build your house out of, what you can consume. One of the things that is distinctly something of the nobility is the red, white, and blue fabrics and threads. Does Orderic wear things like that?
He's certainly fairly well dressed, but
so the question is well dressed is not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is whether he's wearing the things that mark him as nobility. Because if you're not noble, you can't wear those colors.
Oh yeah, he'd definitely be wearing stuff that would mark him out as a noble.
Okay. So then, does he make any effort to try and conceal his relationship with Geralt, or does he not really care? People aren't going to look askance at you. You're a noble, so other nobles may not think much of you, but the commoners would not, would not be thinking less of you for being around them. Although they may be conscious that, to make sure that bad things don't happen to you, or if they do, that no one ever finds your body.
Yeah, he's probably okay when he's if it was a question of interacting with other nobles and Geralt was present, it might change a little.
Okay.
But he might be a bit more formal.
Okay.
If you see what I mean, rather than if we're in a tavern eating or something like that, it would be first name basis. Where if we bumped into some other nobles, he might be a bit more reserved or not quite seem as friendly.
Okay.
He's not really going to obsess about it because he is really on the outs. A little from his house, so.
Okay.
He's sort of maybe he is like a younger son who's maybe not a black sheep, but slightly darker grey sheep. So he's probably acting out a bit.
So I think Orderic is staying in. I think probably the not necessarily the best he can afford in the sense that he's got so much money. He's staying in a nice place. I mean, he's on hard times, so he's probably paying for whatever, a place that is just barely, suitable for your standing, or for a person of your standing. Geralt, where do you think you're staying in Longines? Do you think you got a little, like a flop house? Do you sleep in the streets, or where you can find a place, or?
I think he's connected enough that he probably can find a flop house at the very least.
Okay. And then Jacob
he tries to maintain appearances,
Yeah. So, what I think is, Jacob, we've said that you've sort of just arrived with Arlen's character before, but why don't we change that just a bit to say that so you guys have met along the way, and maybe Roland has paid you to deliver sort of a message that to Orderic.
Some of the fastest messengers in the old world are halflings, I'll have you know.
Absolutely. Don't let our short legs
oh, no,
you.
No. Mm-mm.
All right. And what's otherwise, what is Jacob sort of, what's he expecting from traveling to Longines?
I mean, on his mind is, let's see. I mean, probably, did we establish, remind me, my family, they're in Longines, or are they back where I was born?
Yeah, I think that they are further south.
Artois, right?
Yes, yeah, near Artois.
Okay.
Where the big forest is.
I was debating on how much of his anticipation is family at this point. I mean, he's got a little bit of that because he's heading back into Bretonia after an extended departure, and halflings are, probably, got to be one of the most people that are most focused on family. So
we said last time that he already has been home and then has left because part of the resentment of his brother, right, was because he
he
wasn't there.
But I already went, though. And now I've kind of left. Yeah, got it.
So you're feeling, I imagine you're a little rudderless right now.
Right. Been on the road. I mean, saw family, is left again. Always has an eye open for halflings, in particular.
Yep.
So that's kind of an ever present. And a little bit for things out of place, from his field warden background. And he's, whenever he's traveling, he's usually a caravan guard. So it's just kind of his ever-present, and a friendly face. That's one of the bigger field warden things is, keeping make sure things are okay, but also reassuring halflings that they can do their non-stressful lifestyle. All is well. All is well.
All right. So I think that what your brother told you, Orderic, you have a regular sort of watering hole that you go to in this kind of waterfront place. I'm not sure. I'll leave it to you to decide what the particulars are, but you've got some kind of scheme with a merchant from Tylea, one of the mercantile city-states. Tylea is kind of the ersatz Renaissance Italy. And I think that you've been sort of lurking around down by the waterfront to kind of meet up with this person. It's one of the several merchant ventures. Like, one thing you're finding is that by talking to people from elsewhere, from the old world or from the Empire, from Estalia, from Tylea, you're finding that there are people who are commoners who make ungodly amounts of money. And it just, because there isn't really an existing merchant class in Bretonia, or at least one that doesn't interact with the nobles, this might be a way for you to sort of rebuild your fortune if you can. So, Mo, we...
Sorry, I was just turning the television off.
Sure. What you... so where your sort of regular watering hole is a place called the Shattered Compass. It is a shithole, but it is it is not so much of a shithole that you would feel dangerous going there, but it's enough of a shithole that you may be able to find opportunities there as well. So I'm not sure if you just think you might be staying above, in one of the rooms above, or in a boarding house nearby. But this is the place that you have told your cousin, and you've told other people to where they can meet you. What do you think? Are you staying above the Shattered Compass? Are you staying in?
Who are you asking? Who?
Mo, for Orderic.
Oh.
So is it? It's not a terrible dive. It is at least acceptable for a noble.
No, it is absolutely not. You are not living in that.
No. I think I've probably found some other inn that is slightly more upmarket.
How much money do you have?
I think I have.
If that's how he wants to feel,
16,
let's start blowing through that money.
16 gold crowns, and I've got jewelry worth 30, 29.
Okay. So let's quickly, because one of the things I do like about Warhammer Fantasy is you are really living hand to mouth.
I would assume there's somewhere with a stable, because I've got a horse, and presumably that has to be stabled somewhere.
Yep, that also needs to be paid for. So let's see. I'm not sure your character fully apprehends the state he finds himself in at present. So let's just do some quick economics. There we go. All right, lodging. So stabling for horse per night is 10 pence. Let's just quickly...
That's brass, isn't it?
So exchange rate. 1 gold crown is 20 silver shillings as 240 brass pennies.
Right.
No, same translation as the other editions.
Oh, is it? Okay.
That's helpful.
Yeah. Okay, so it'll cost you, not pence, it'll be pennies, I guess. So it'll cost you per night 10 for stabling, and it'll cost you 10 silver shillings, so half a gold crown per night for a private room. And that's actually only a low scale one. We can probably multiply that. It's going to cost you a gold crown per night for a...
I think he's in the cheaper.
I had a feeling if we looked at your... even as a noble, it did not strike me that the Warhammer Fantasy would likely start you off with enough gold to be living in high states. Okay, so then you are staying in the place that costs you... do you have a private room at 10? So it's half a gold crown per day?
No, it was the silver shillings one, so...
Yeah, 10 shillings, which is half a gold crown.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are staying, as I said.
Well...
I think we have just gone through a microcosm of Orderic's first couple of days in Langille. Let's stay in this lovely place. I will stable my horse here. So your horse will cost you 10 pennies per day. So that is 1/12 of a silver shilling.
Yeah.
So
let me...
And did we travel together?
No. So Orderic, what I'm trying to situate is where Orderic is staying. Geralt, I think, meets up with Orderic there.
Okay.
Geralt, do you think that you are involved with some of Orderic's schemes as well, or are you more just interested in what is your perspective on this this Bretonnian who's fallen on hard times? Do you see him as someone who can help you get some money, or do you see him as a mark for your gambling?
Probably more of a mark.
Okay. So you're showing up. Okay, so one thing, we got to, with this kind of game where we have disparate characters coming from everywhere, you guys got to give buy-in for your characters. You got to give reasons for why your characters are going on, because I'm not interested in trying to tease together reasons why everyone's going to get together. I got enough stuff to deal with on the TM side. So I want you guys to think of what your buy-in is going to be for each of your individual characters. Now with Jacob, so Carol, I think this probably catches where we catch up with your character is coming back from wherever you were sleeping the night before. You've maybe either, what is your what are your skills again? Do you have pickpocket?
Don't have
Geralt?
Oh, sorry,
So
Geralt.
Geralt, he can gamble. He's good at gossiping. He's good at smack talk. He's more of like a con man as opposed to like an actual.
Sure. Okay. So why don't you give us a? Let's see here.
Oh, he does have sleight of hand though.
Okay.
So
why don't you give us a? Well, let's do this. Let's have you make. So where you are, you sort of wake up. Where do you think you're sleeping? Is it like in? Do you have a place in a Would it be in a flop house where there's like a bunch of different people sleep in? Would it be in a,
Yeah, it's going to be like probably like a flop house where there's a large common room. He definitely has to. Unfortunately, well, I don't know if it's a port city. I guess he can wash off the yuck as best he can.
Yep.
I'm
Okay.
sure it's flea. I'm sure it's flea ridden.
Yeah. So you get we see you wake up in a bunch of there's a big
sleep with one eye open, dagger in hand.
It may be that kind of thing where everyone is sort of put in a row and they put a rope up to make sure you guys don't fall over. So morning comes, they untie the rope and you all kind of slump forward. And
right.
Of course you're even further down on the rope, given your height. We can see you making your way through the streets of Langille. People are making their way. Now, would you purchase? Would you try and bamboozle? Would you try and steal some your breakfast? Because there's probably a fresh bakery, fresh baked goods that are going on.
I'd probably try to haggle, either not to haggle probably work. Try to charm my way. And
So why don't you
try
give
to
us
charm someone into, or if that doesn't work, hey, I'll bet you blah blah blah, and try to do like a little trick. If I win this little, that sort of game, the game where you pick the what's under the under
the shell game kind of thing.
Shell game.
Yeah. 3-card Monty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Variations of the same thing, I'm sure.
So if charm doesn't work, then he tries to go, okay, well, how about I bet you for it?
Sure.
Try to do that.
So you walk up and let's see here. I'm scribing some Bretonian names here to have them at the ready. So you walk up to.
That's why he pronounces it's probably Garl in the Dwarven language, but he pronounces it Garil.
Garil. Oh, nice. He puts it on there. It's funny because everyone calls him that, right? He tried to correct their pronunciation several times.
Yeah, he just gave up.
All right, so this is going to be there's a baker nearby who, and I think that my effort to try and clear room for Anna Banana, I just dropped my DM screens down. So what I think is that this guy's a guy named Waldon, and you know that Waldon's wife. Waldon is a degenerate gambler, so you know that if Waldon's wife spots you, then there's absolutely no way you're getting any breakfast this morning. So why don't you give us a spot? I think it's a spot skill, right?
Perception.
Perception, is that what it is? Okay.
Yes.
I got my.
So normal, right?
Yes, please.
I guess it should be that button.
Oh, and no, give yourself a plus 20. That she's making no effort to try and hide her. This is going to be an easy roll.
Okay, let me start over.
Give me, I got my rolls here. So there are, for those who may be interested in exploring second edition, I picked up both versions of the DM screen. There's a softer version that looks kind of like this on the outside that comes with one of the GM's kits, and there's this one that comes with the other. I find it's a harder stock. This one has much more useful stuff on it, like all the names of the skills, which isn't on the other thing, the page reference for the talents, which isn't on the other thing, and weapon qualities for spot reference, which isn't on the other one. So anyway, all right, so that's great. Yeah, so she's in the back. They've got two kids who work with the baker, so you're free to go and speak to Well Done.
Oh, well done. So I need some breakfast. You're always good to me. You know, I pay up. I get you into the best games.
Okay, he turns. Why don't you give us a charm check? Are you thinking? Well, are you charming him or are you intimidating him?
Charm.
Charming. Okay.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Go
Got
ahead.
a family.
Yeah. I'll give
charm.
you. You got a success. We'll build on that. We'll give you a plus 10% to your charm. Critical failure.
Ooh. Okay.
You want to spend a fortune point and re-roll that?
Yeah, he's lucky. So
Can you just click on it directly? Oh, that's awesome.
Failure.
It's just like Savage Worlds where you can just click on it
Yeah,
right
yeah.
away. Yeah, that's cool.
nice.
Yeah.
All right, now,
Still failure.
Now, what you can do is,
Yeah, I mean he's not very charismatic, so he comes across maybe too gruff, you know,
sure,
and maybe a little too desperate.
yeah. So he looks and he says, Garil, I paid you before. This is, and he looks back in the into the bakery as if to like make sure that he's not being spotted speaking to you. This has been, please, I cannot. She's counting the rolls.
He goes, well, how about a quick game of a quick shell game? You win, I pay you. You lose, well, fix me some breakfast.
He looks back. I think you're gonna need to. You need me just to make a regular no modifiers to charm here.
No modified charm?
Yeah, no modified.
It's hard because again he's.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
But success
There you
though,
go.
nice. All right, so he, you know, his little he's got I picture him having a big mustache as well, sort of twirled up on the sides, and you see it kind of, you know, it twitches back and forth. He says, "Quickly, hurry!"
All right.
So
I don't know. I can. Is there a
yeah, let me just do. I'm gonna
there's a gamble, but there's also sleight of hand. So I don't know.
So what are you planning on doing? Like, are you planning on just losing?
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna try to cheat him so I win.
Okay. Now hold on. Well, what I was
No
wondering
question
is
about that.
one thing I was thinking about the sleight of hand is whether you were intending on, like, while you were setting this stuff up, just grabbing a roll for yourself.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
Yeah, because it's the palm. Because I think gambling incorporates the cheating part of it too. All right. Okay. So then, so this is just he has to make a gambling roll too. He is terrible at it, so he is going to be rolling worse. If you just want to leave it to chance, we both make gambling checks, and then whoever has the greater level of success, they win. The other option is that you can throw this and say, "Oh shoot, I guess I'll have to pay you," and you can steal your breakfast and with a sleight of hand, pay for your another breakfast, and then bring both to meet up with Orderic.
Okay, let's do that. That sounds more fun.
Okay, so why don't you give us a sleight of hand check then? And I think I'm going to give
hand
you
or gamble first, or
well, if you're intentionally throwing the gambling,
okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
So I'll give you two options. You can make a sleight of hand and you make a gambling check, neither of them modified, or you can take plus 20% to your gambling, to your sleight of hand, and then just throw the gambling.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Let's do that.
Nice. Okay, so what do we see? What's your, do you have your
So I feign disappointment as I, even if it's, as I do the shell game and he's going through, and I know where the thing is, and I probably have one up my sleeve. So so then when he, so I throw the game to make sure that he wins with that, and then while he's collecting his money, so I throw, let's say it's a few shillings, it's not going to be that much, right?
Yeah, it'll be a couple pennies, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so some pennies, and I, grab a couple, rolls and some, or I guess they're probably like puff pastry things.
Yeah, it'll be something like that. It'll be like croissants or something similar, the Bretonian equivalent of
while he's counting his money,
meat pies or something.
So, I guess I need. Well, you're lucky. You're lucky. Well done. You're very lucky.
And at that, you can kind of that big laugh from
because
him.
you also, if this guy's bad at gambling, you set him up. You got to win a few times.
Absolutely, you got to keep him come back. So Weldon laughs, and then he says, "Well, Garil, you cannot win every time. Come again and."
Because yes, you are correct. But sometimes Ronald favors the smiles upon the unlucky.
Yes, and today he does. Thank the lady. And with that, I think then you can see that his wife is starting to trundle out from within the.
And I'm gone.
Yeah, so you are down the street, and he turns around, and you can't hear it, but you can see his wife pointing at where the meat pies are and asking what's happened to one. So, we then cut to. So, Orderic, this is your morning. Do you wake up on your own, or do you wake up with accompaniment?
No, I think he's on his own.
Okay.
He's going to go down for breakfast. I assume it's included.
Yeah. So this is if you can picture like the any of the like tavern scenes from any of the Pirates of the Caribbean films. Not in the sense of like the colorful characters or whatnot, but just with how grimy and how dingy shit is in that film. That's sort of what I'm picturing. You stagger out from upstairs, and look down. The innkeeper is a guy named, I think it's Jacob. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm being very careful, try not to get my clothes.
Oh, is he a silver cobble?
No, sorry, Gaston. Gaston d'Abert. So what you can see is that, and one of the things that maybe attracts you about this place, the Shattered Compass is notoriously tolerant for people from other places in the old world, making even Norskins and Arabians feel welcome here. And it's worth noting that about 1,000 years before the campaign, Bretonia went on a errant crusade against Arabia. So there is still some lingering hatred of the Arabians in some parts of Bretonia, but Langille would be one of the places that would be a little more welcoming, and this place in particular. It means lots of opportunity for you, for people coming from abroad. So you get out and you can see that there are a couple of people who are already active. When you come out, I think you come. Will you tell us like what is it? What do we see as you're sort of making your way down the towards the common room? Do you try to make a grand entrance with the colors of your clothes and the way that you carry yourself? I imagine that like anyone looking at you could tell you're a noble, so you might draw attention.
He's sort of like, he spent a good sort of 30 minutes making sure his clothes are brushed, doing his hair. I mean, normally he'd expect a servant to do this, but he
for sure.
Do.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, yeah, he's not going to go. It is I, Leclerc, but he is going to make sure he's dressed. He will be carrying, obviously, as a nobleman. Yeah, and then he will sort of like, you can imagine him sort of
let's not leave his room just yet. I'm picturing that he's like, he gets up in a filthy bed. Kind of gets up and maybe picks one or two knits off of him, gets himself dressed up, and he's doing it in front of a severely cracked mirror as well too, kind of like making sure his hair is in the appropriate spot. There is a filthy rag with some water that he's using to sort of clean himself up, and then a quick gulp of leftover wine from the night before, because you are a noble, you'll be drinking wine. You make your way out and bring your way down into the common room. Now, in the common room in the Broken Compass or Shattered Compass, I imagine that this is one of the few places where like you certainly wouldn't call your attention wouldn't be called to you being a noble in here as much as it would be in, say, like a strictly Bretonian pub, right? Like, it's kind of like the it's not quite the same equivalent, but it's like it's the boss trying to sit down at the workers' lunch table, right? Like you would be very at best tolerated, but it would be clear that you really aren't wanted there. Whereas here, because there's people from all over, they're not going to really, they're not going to make the same distinction between commoner and noble the way they would in other places. So you were asking before about like whether this is a seedy place. It's definitely seedy, but I think that it is a place where you can get away. You can probably get more out of. I guess you're less conspicuous than what you would be if you were in a other place, a Bretonian pub. So, what is your morning routine? Do you think you get down, you have your favorite pub? You know that Garil will be showing up today. He likes to kill some hours playing cards.
Yes, I think that was the idea later on. But yes, he will. Gaston, breakfast. Okay. And he'll sit down at a...
And you sit down, and then you can't see from behind, but there's a rude gesture given to you by the barmaid behind. She is from the Empire, a tough Empire woman named Greta, who is not, as impressed with your finery. You're sitting down for maybe a minute or so. They bring you some wine, watered down to start your day off. And then you see, I think at this point, Garil walks in with a couple of, things secured under his arm.
Yep. Breakfast, my lord.
Excellent.
It cost me a lot. I am sure you have the money to reimburse.
Oh, I'm sure for a few rolls. Yeah.
All right. So you guys are sitting down, and it's I think around this time, Jacob. You did arrive in town later last night, but do you think this is Jacob's first time to Langille, or has he been here before?
Not being as familiar with the Bretonia map, how far away is it from Artois?
From Artois, it's 2 or 3 provinces. You know what I can do? Give me a sec here. I'll give you a handout.
Drawing it. Sweet.
Yeah, with the map on it.
That's awesome.
There we go.
He was born in Bretonia, so I think there's a decent chance, but just a matter of how far away.
Yeah. There we go. Did this work?
Nice.
Oh, it might be loading still here.
Okay.
That may not have worked. Oh, no, hold on.
Yeah, we're getting a...
I might just need a moment. Roll20 is being a fucking pain in the ass the last couple of weeks with things loading properly. It might just take a moment, because it's showing in the handouts, the preview is showing up right now. Let me do this. I'll remove this and do this. Come on. Because it took me a while. The files is it's about 2 meg picture. I should have made it smaller, but I didn't. So it might just take a moment for it to load.
Sure.
What I can do in the interim is bring over here. So, here we go. Artois is really just south of it. Of Langille. So, it's a couple 100 miles and several days worth of travel. Let's do this. Let's have you... Why don't you give us a...
Nice.
If you don't have training in it, you have no academic knowledge skills, right?
Let me refresh my... I have academic knowledge, genealogy, heraldry. I have academic knowledge, necromancy.
Okay.
Some speak languages. That's my thing.
Do you have,
cook.
Trade
I'm
or
a
anything?
cook.
Cook is the new hunting. Right. I'm hunting.
Right. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Well, what I was going to suggest is, let's just have you make an intelligence check then.
Okay.
I'll give you a plus 20 because I think there's a good chance of it being here. And this will tell us whether, how familiar with Langille you are.
Okay.
No.
Nope.
So that would make sense. I mean, for why you got here, and maybe you found one of the way stations to stay at, or one of the wayset inns on the edge, rather than like wandering around. You're a tough little halfling, but I mean, wandering on the streets of a big city like this is a good way to get yourself knifed in the dark.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yep. I mean, I would say, and he probably, let's see, his, a couple different things that, one, I guess he's really rare, right? Halflings in Bretonia are really rare.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking he's, not necessarily affecting this question, but that he's mistaken for a child, the vast majority of the time. Oh, someone's kid's running around, this kind of thing, until I speak. And then they're like, oh, like, what's this? This kind of thing.
Why does this child swear so much?
Did the child just make a sexual reference? And then he's also used to, if possible, but of course, associated with what we just said, it's going to be maybe unusual that if he can find someone, like he likes staying with families, like in the Moot, staying with a family or staying with someone that he knows, but not here, right? So what would he do? I mean, I guess he'd try to find maybe a friendly face or like a friendly innkeeper or someone that treats him, doesn't.
I think the only person that he knows of right now is this cousin. You met Roland on the road, and Roland seemed like a lovely human. Nice guy, and the way he talked about his cousin, he seemed to be cut from the same cloth.
There we go.
He talked about the childhood training with him and whatnot. So you may have in your head an expectation that Orderic is going to be very much like Roland.
Yeah.
Other than that, what the role tells us is that I don't think you know anybody else here. So that may be why you waited until morning. Mm-hmm. So I think that as a forester, I imagine you're used to being an early riser. Mm-hmm. And you are up and off before, and wandering around the streets of Langille before really even the bakers are setting out their first bread. So it's around this time is maybe Geralt and Orderic are about halfway through their meat pies, talking about what they're doing. Geralt, I'm picturing picking it up and tearing it like a burrito, and Orderic is eating it very daintily with two silver, two pieces of silver cutlery and the one silver plate that the establishment keeps to comply with sumptuary laws. They're extremely tarnished as well too. But that's sort of the scene you walk in on, Jacob. So you walk in, and I think Greta, the thing says, "Oi, no children here!"
Oh, no, and Jacob easily laughs. He's used to this, and he's very affable. And he says, "Oh, no child here. Jacob Silvercobble here." And he's munching on, his pockets frequently have, while his stones are in a little baggie, his weapon stones, he typically has like an apple pockets full of apples or something to munch on, because he incessantly munches. So he's munching on an apple, looking for something a little more tasty.
Yep. Okay.
He says that to the woman.
Oh, she kind of, here, let's do this. Why don't you give us a charm check at plus 20.
He's affable, but he doesn't have charm. So I think, there's probably some twist to it. Like he's too, he's too assuming, or he's too, he acts like everyone's a halfling and they're like, I'm not a halfling, or something like that,
Well, I mean, like children, the lot of children in the old world is not generally a good one either. So every now and then there may be someone like, oh, you poor lost thing, what's happened to you? And then there's other ones who are like, I'm going to make you my apprentice now. You're going to come to work.
This is an average roll?
No, plus 20.
Oh, plus 20. Okay.
Yeah. For most of these, like the routine or average ones are between like plus 10 and plus 30. Holy shit, 4 degrees of failure.
Let's see.
So I think with 4 degrees of failure, it is very likely she may be reacting poorly to this. Do you want to spend a fortune point reroll that?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's get those fortune points. Yeah, every day. I got to realign that you get them every day. Not every session, but every day.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go. Awesome. She is from the Empire, so she actually might be aware of the moot.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So she kind of looks down. She says, "Oh," and she says a word in what is it? Not Reich. It's Reichspeak or something like that.
Reichspiel.
Reichspiel.
Right. I was trying to remember. I'm like, what is the German word? I'm like, it's not Reichstag. That's a very different thing.
Right. That's the legislature.
Exactly. Okay. So, I think my
Anna.
Yeah. Well, my
security.
what do you call it? chef's plate is here.
Oh, nice.
Late again.
Yeah.
So what? What she says is, and she says something about like the Kinderfolk in Reichstag Reichsspiele. Do you speak Reichsspiele as well, or because you grew up here?
I speak. Let's see. Yes, I do. I speak Reichsspiel, Halfling, and Bretonnian.
Oh, great. Okay, so you recognize the sort of their name for for
Wee folk.
Wee folk. Yeah, exactly.
I say, yeah, Jacob Silvercobble, and like, takes off a little, his cap or whatever, and gives kind of a, an exaggerated bow and say, indeed, so you've met us, wee folk, before.
She said, I've heard of you. You are lucky. Come.
Yes, we're very lucky. Very.
Yes. And she kind of walks away. I'm going to make a quick intelligence roll. Let's see here. Abyss asks, any Skaven yet? Coming soon, buddy. Coming soon. She kind of laughs and says, yes, lucky and filthy.
In what?
She points at you and says, no thieving.
Oh, no. I wouldn't think of it. But if you had a roll, I'd be grateful.
Okay. So as you're walking in, she sort of like shakes her head. Jacob, now you have an opportunity to kind of take in the scene here, and this is a pretty cosmopolitan looking scene. Even early in the morning, there are, you think you can see like with the big poofy hats and the fancery and whatnot. There's a Tylean in the corner over there. It looks like, good lord, is that a Norskin passed out in the corner? Big, blonde hair, and looks like he may have been there. God, has he been there since last night? Possibly.
Yeah.
And then assorted other sort of folks who are just taking in their breakfasts. There is one person that sort of stands out to you, though, with the... tell us about what your clothing looks like, Orderic. Bearing in mind that if you are going to incorporate red, white, or blue fabric, that's the way that nobles distinguish themselves from the common folk.
I should imagine it's a bit like the picture we've got. So he's, I mean, this is sort of like, I wouldn't say musketeers, but it's like a nice sort of longish coat, breeches. The coat will be red with sort of like gold, and there's probably blue slashing maybe in the sleeves.
Sure.
And he's got a fairly fancy hat with maybe a red, red, blue, and white, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, red, white, and blue sort of like feather decoration in the hat. So it's quite a broad-brimmed hat. Sort of, he's cleared off a clean piece of table to put it on.
Sure. So you can tell, Jacob, like having seen that description, that is the only person who's like stands out as a someone wearing the colors of a noble in this establishment. And you don't need, because you got training in heraldry, you don't need to make a roll. You recognize it is, I think, the same family sigil as well on his. That's somewhere on his. Maybe it's on his lapel and his crest incorporated into a brooch or something like that.
As Roland.
As what Roland did, yeah.
And Jacob loves familiar things, kind of a halfling trait, I think, and goes, and walks over and pulls out the chair and hops up on it, all 4 feet of them.
Sure.
At their table, and so Gorell and Oderic are there, right? Orderic.
Yeah.
How? So I mean, Orderic, I think does seem maybe a bit oblivious. But what does Geralt? Is Geralt sort of, like the typical ruffian? Make sure he doesn't have his back to the door, kind of thing.
Yeah, he definitely has that sort of idea and vibe. That's right. Jacob and we met each other at like roadside or near out of town. Yeah. So he recognizes Jacob and gives him like a head bob.
Yeah, and a little connection over the god. I'm losing his name, but
Renaud.
A little bit of a Renaud thing.
Yeah. And maybe there's a secret symbol that you guys could maybe, like it's I think we talked about this last time, Jeep drivers.
Yeah.
The amount of fucking people I have waving at me. We have so many Jeeps in Calgary. And it's just like, all right, enough, fuck it.
I mean, and Jacob's pretty, he's only a very, he's not very deep into it, but he's intrigued by it.
Okay. So this is a little bit of a interesting turn of circumstance. Jacob, you find yourself with this, the dwarf seems to be sharing a meal with this same noble.
Interesting. And I think Jacob immediately thinks of kind of its fate and laughs, happily about it. Here he was, a stranger in a strange city, and then this, of course, like this. We're very lucky. We're very, very lucky.
Yeah.
And says, "Greetings, good morning," and he looks around for something to eat, on the table.
Sure. I think there is only the torn remains of Geralt's breakfast, and then Ordric is still carefully making his way through on the the silver platter.
And he probably puts his hand on a roll and then thinks, "Oh, do you mind?"
It'll cost you a couple pennies, but sure.
A little markup.
Okay, of course. And he'll come up with it.
Okay.
Yeah, Gorell's just trying to make sure he gets back the pennies that he lost in his earlier shift.
No, so for a guy who grew up on the streets too, you got to hustle to,
all the time. You always got to hustle.
Yep. All right.
It's at a discount. Don't worry.
So Ordric, this is curious. This, why don't you, Ordric? Why don't you just, unless you've got a knowledge or a skill that would be specifically apply here, I think you guys have Bretonnian knowledge. You could make that, but it's going to be at a -20 because the halflings are so rare here. Why don't you give us a Bretonnian knowledge at -20, Ordric? And see whether you mistake him for just a beardless dwarf.
That, hang on. Is that talents or skills?
Yep, it should be under skills. You should have, I think, it's one of the skills you got from your background, your race. There should be a what is it? Common knowledge.
Common knowledge is talents, isn't it? Is it talents?
Let's see here. Hold on.
Is it? Probably a skill, huh?
Yeah, I thought it was a skill. Because
I have it down as a. Oh, you're right. It's a skill. You're right.
Yeah.
It'd be under.
Yeah, so the skills, you should have common knowledge Bretonnian, gossip, and speak language Breton.
Yep.
As your.
Under other skills, probably. You put them.
Yeah, other skills.
Okay, it looks like you didn't put it down, Mo.
Yeah, I must have missed that one then. So that is.
Yeah, I have common knowledge dwarves, and then
other
languages, and then.
Yep.
Common knowledge is intelligence skill, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
So just add common knowledge Bretonnian, link it to intelligence, put it at trained, and then would you kind of make a roll at -20? Mo, you can add skills just by clicking on the add skill.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, so it's not common knowledge general, it's common knowledge Bretonnia. It's because each character from your cultural background. Okay, then would you make a roll at -20, please? Let's see what happens.
Public.
Oof. You want to spend a fortune point to re-roll, or do you care?
Yeah, I'll scratch my head. Maybe I have seen this little chap before.
Nice! Look at that. Spend a fortune point, okay?
Wow.
A 2.
Nice.
All right, so yeah, it's a halfling. Huh. Weren't there some of those living down in Artois?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I was born there.
you're not making the confusion between the two of them, and the accent that he's speaking with is definitely a Bretonnian accent. One of the things with the halflings that come from elsewhere is they would still have a Reichspiel accent. This one does not.
Greetings.
Greetings, my short fellow.
Good to share a table with you. And he's munching away on the roll with crumbs.
I'm glad I brought enough for everyone.
Yeah.
We cut to Weldon getting wailed on by his wife. You stupid!
And Jacob pulls out one of his apples and puts it in front of Gorell, kind of like, and winks at him.
All right, so I guess I give you your shilling back, or your penny back.
Oh, he says, kind of startled. Oh, well, very good. So have you guys recently arrived as well?
Yes, my friend and patron Odoric is here, and as a good friend, and I brought him breakfast.
Oh, that's quite neighborly of you. This broken compass, is this your
the town? And I'm actually waiting for a cousin as well.
Oh, are you now? Well, it's funny. I was just traveling with a quite nice knight. Now, out of character. So Roland looked like a knight, right? I mean, he's
a knight errant. Yeah,
knight errant.
Knight errants are definitely common enough in where second sons and whatnot would sort of be sent off to fight or whatever else. The way that you get into a knightly order is by first serving as a knight errant in Bretonnia. It's not, you don't squire to some other knight. So it's a fairly common sight to see knight errants. They're not like, so numerous as to be, let's call the regular, like the local knight errant and call them in. But if you're a traveler, you certainly would have come across them on the road.
And how about Odoric? How much does Odoric look like that? Same sigil, but as far as the dress, he's not an errant.
No, I mean, so humans would all look kind of big to you anyway. And from what I recall, Odoric's still, he's quite strong and quite, his weapon skill is quite high too, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, he's, I think he's actually quite sort of...
he's quite physically capable. He's not dressed in the armor the way that the Knight Errant was, nor does he have the, the tattered cloak. This guy is dressed like a noble, not like a knight. One of the ways we were talking last time about one of the weird fashion sort of affectations that goes on right now. Knights, it's fine to wear battle damage cloak, because if you're wearing a cloak, it's going to get damaged over the course of your adventures and torn and whatnot. It's common to leave those in place to show evidence of your adventures. And the nobles, what they've done is it's a favored way to sort of cut a slit in the cloak and then have the seams, sewn up. So it's clear you're not trying to put yourself off as a knight. Whereas anyone else has to repair them because they don't want to be, charged under sumptuary laws.
Cross the lines.
Orderic does not have that kind of tattered cloak. The way that the knight does. He doesn't seem to. He doesn't strike you as the same, following the same calling as what Roland did.
Well, Odoric, good to make your acquaintance. I'm sure. It's funny. I was just traveling with a gent of a similar sigil as you. Yes, I keep running into him.
Oh, the same house?
Yes, the same house. Yes. He had a bit of a tattered cloak. Looks like he'd been through some encounters and such. But he was a fine gent. We spent some evenings together. We did. We smoked some. Well, I did. I smoked some pipe.
There you go.
Well,
this gentleman has money.
Jacob's thrown off by the.
You did have he had money enough to pay you to deliver this message for him.
Oh yeah, and let's Kevin, that message. So who was I to deliver it to?
To Orderic.
Oh, okay. And what's what was the trigger? Do I know his name and description? Is that kind of
basically what Roland had heard is where he could be found,
and probably my broken nose.
Yeah.
So one of my hair and eyes, because I've got quite distinctive hair.
Well, then how about Jacob at this point, looks up from a particularly a little bit unruly bite of roll and realizes wait, and with roll kind of getting spit around the table and says, are you Odoric?
I am.
And it almost comes off the chair, and puts down the roll and tidies himself slightly, and like goes rifling through his stuff, and pulls it out like a declaration, like yes, messenger done, achieved, and puts it on the table, and
Greta says in
the question mark changes above my head.
Greta says in Reichspiel, no standing on the chairs.
And tips his cap, and because he probably jumps up on chairs pretty easily because everything's too big for him.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So he immediately tips his cap, sorry, ma'am, and then goes back down to the chair, but then slides it off, looking at Odric with great drama.
Oh, thank you. If you mind, I will just read this. Greta, maybe a cushion for my friend here.
She says, "Oh, aye," and as soon as you turn away, she's just again.
These Empire girls, they love the accent.
Yeah.
And I'll say that as an aside to the others. I'll say it quite loudly.
Yeah.
Right, so I will inspect the... so I assume it's got a seal on it or something.
It does, yeah. It's got... it is not... it's wax from a cheap candle that's on there, but it does... It is... Yeah, you do recognize the seal on it, though.
That's from Roland.
Oh, excellent. I'll just check the seal. Presumably we've got like a signet ring I'd recognize.
Yeah, let's see here. I think let's see if there is a forgery skill here. There's not. So, what is your perception skill or score?
Oh no, that's a skill, isn't it? Not a...
Yeah, it'll be under... perception is based on intelligence. What's your score? What's the confused look for, Mo?
Well, I seem to have lost all the skill things. Where have they gone?
Hold on. So it's under skills. There you go. When you click on the rook there, it closes the whole menu down.
Perception.
Okay. I found it. It's 18.
Yeah.
Yep. Seal looks good to you. I don't need you to roll it. There's going to be certain rolls. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep. Looks good to you.
I'll open it up and have a read of it.
Yep. So it is word from. There you go. It's word from your cousin that he will be arriving presently. It says to either if you are moving to leave word where you will be.
Okay. Exactly where I'd leave it, I'm not totally sure.
Well, presumably you would leave word where you are with where you're going.
But how would Jacob know where I was staying?
Well, he knows. How would he have known to get this message here, Odric? He obviously knows.
Yeah.
Go to the...
Really role-playing that 17 intelligence up well there, Mo. Okay, so yeah, that's how do you feel about having your cousin, I guess, first, having apparently taken up the banner of the Knight Errant, and secondly for him to be coming here?
Well, he always thought, I have the name here, Roland was always a bit of a romantic, so I could certainly understand him being a knight errant.
Yep.
Well, I wonder what experience he's had on the road.
Okay.
Well, I hope he's okay and he doesn't need anything requiring a lot of money.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll be quite pleased to see him because we were quite friends back when we were in training.
Yeah.
He's probably a little bit well, he got to be a knight errant, and well, I'll find out how it really is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not quite as romantic as in the chansons.
Yeah. Okay. So while he's reading that, while Ordric's reading that, Jacob and Geralt, would you kindly give me or give us perception rules, please? Anna says hi as well. Hello, sweetie.
And routine or plus any modifier?
No modifiers for this. Oh, sorry, plus 20 to this one, please.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. Jacob, well done. And then Garil. Perception at plus 20, please. Let's see here. Carl?
Yep.
Oh, perception at plus 20, please.
Okay.
Nice. 4 degrees of success. Holy smokes.
Nice.
So, Garil, I think you were the first one, while Odric's looking this over, and as, Jacob is happily, tucking into this role, satisfied that he's fulfilled his duty as a messenger, you can notice that there's a bit of a change in the quality of noise outside of the Shattered Compass. Things, there's, this time of day, there's a general kind of hubbub that's out there too, but people are talking in faster and in more, in louder tones than they were before. There's almost like a sense of urgency outside.
I nudged Odric and said, "Something's up outside. What is the note about?"
Oh, it's just Roland is expecting to meet me here. He didn't actually say a particular date. He just said soon, didn't he?
I'm gonna go. Is there a window to go look?
Well, I'll ask Jacob. How long ago did Roland give you the message?
Was it yesterday, Kevin?
It would have been a couple of days ago. There was something he was doing along the way that he said he needed to... There are chapels to the Lady of the Grail all the way along here, so he may be taking a pilgrimage to visit those before he arrives.
No.
It was a couple of days ago, but it seems like the knight errant had an errand, and he laughs.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, I shall. Well, I'll put.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna. Is there a window to look out, or?
Yeah, you can hop down it and make your way towards the front.
Yep.
So with a roll that good, I think, Garil, as soon as you hop down, the thing you notice is splish. The hell? There's a thin layer of water on the ground.
Okay.
And as you make your way to the door, Garil doesn't have any nautical experience, right? He's not a boatman, a smuggler.
No.
Okay, so why don't you give us an intelligence check at test at minus 10, please.
Would that be on primary? Primary, I guess.
I think so, yeah. So you walk to the door. You throw the door open. There's a bit of a nice,
wow,
fantastic. All right, so you throw the door open, and what you can see is that people are sort of making their way around, and they seem to be coming from the docks, from the direction of the docks. And you can see there's the waters on the ground, and the way that there's sort of like waves or rippling coming in. This may be flooding from the tides.
Oh, is that unusual? It's very unusual.
It's pretty unusual, yeah. Like this is it is not something that happens on a regular basis. No one would build their things. It's not unheard of, but it's very unusual, and people don't generally plan for it. So, and the way that the water is rising, it is definitely coming in much faster than people are prepared to deal with immediately. By the time that you sort of look, study the street and look up and down, it's already up near your ankles and feels like it's rising.
Wow. Hey, we got a problem, guys.
Jacob pops up on the chair, standing on it. Oh, indeed.
I'll turn
So
around.
I guess that's why people are freaking out outside, huh?
Yeah, and like people are trying to like pick things up and move things away, trying to grab their kids, trying to, and it's rising. Like by the time you sort of talk to you make your way back to the table, it's already like up to about your shins now, Garrel.
Yep.
So it's not like a tide, like a tidal wave coming in, but it is definitely rising fast, and it's going to be causing problems. What do you call it? The Norscan suddenly, who is passed out in the corner, jerks awake and shouts something out in Norscan that no one seems to understand. What are you guys doing?
I'd say we move.
Is the woman in sight?
Greta?
Greta.
Yeah.
Jacob says, pardon for the seat standing, but we've got some water here, ma'am.
She says, it's flooding. It's flooding. Get out. Get out.
And Jacob pops off with a splash.
Yep.
up to his whatever.
Yeah.
Up to his waist.
So the sounds outside are getting louder at this point as well. And as you guys, Jacob, you make your way out. Yeah.
Move away from the docks area.
Indeed. Maybe to our horses. I think Jacob's got a. Does he have a? Wait, am I? I may be misremembering. I thought he had a pony.
Jacob, I think you have a pony. Yeah.
We could get to our.
So
I do. Yeah.
Probably it may be hitched outside.
He's going for the pony.
Okay,
for
so
some height.
Yeah, you get to your pony, and as Gariel, I'm picturing you're probably next out. Last being Orderic, big hat back on as well. So as you guys walk out, you can hear from the Gariel from up above. You there? Hey, you there?
Talking to who?
To you, Gariel, it seems. Someone's shouting from up above. And on the balcony above, there is a guy dressed in, a middle-aged man dressed in a short blue tunic, red breeches, with a slashed white cloak. So definitely the cut of a warrior, and of a noble. And he's got this solid build that, Jacob, you can see this as well. And he says, get that cart out of the alley. It's blocking things. And you can see that right next to the Shattered Compass, there's this unhitched wagon that is there, and you can see like barrels and boxes and other debris that have been picked up are slowly accumulating against this thing. It's about to, if it continues on that way without that cart getting moved, it's going to create a backlog and actually might flood the compass.
Jacob's
go
ahead.
I like the compass, so I'll run to help.
Okay. So, and then, sorry, Sean, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jacob's, field warden instincts are kicking in, something to be fixed, and let's attend to this. So he gives his pony, who I haven't named yet, a little kick to trot over there, and maybe the pony can help.
It's sweet, loving TBD.
Exactly.
I love you, TBD.
Exactly. Trots, gives him a little boost, and let's go over there, Ninny.
Sure.
Okay. Ninny.
So you trot over there. So what this is going to require, let's see, ponies have a strength of 35.
Ooh.
Okay.
Herculean.
So you, and Orderic, if you look up, you see very briefly the back, and I think you're the last one out. So you see this gentleman has retreated from the balcony, has made his way back inside the building. And you can see Gariel is making his way over to a cart without a horse that seems to be, having some debris collecting up behind it, and begins to sort of, starting to rush forward. So Jacob and Gariel, how do you guys want to approach this?
I think Jacob says, Gariel, help me see if we can hook up Ninny to the cart, and I'll try to pull it out of there.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So let's see here. Is there like an animal handling skill?
Yeah.
I think there's animal training.
There's animal training.
So
charm animal.
Oh, you know what? There is a... just give us a ride check at plus 20.
All right.
Jacob, let's just hook this thing up. I think there is a driving...
Yeah, there's a drive.
Oh, there's a drive one. Yeah. That'd be for hooking up wagons and shit.
Oh, cool.
Nicely done, though. Yeah, great. 2 degrees of success. Okay, so yeah, you, Jacob, you're used to helping people, as a field warden, maybe like pull their, wagons or whatnot on your trip down here. So you're easily able to sort of like hook the necessary things up. What it's going to be is a strength check, and then for each person helping, you can add plus 10% up to a maximum of plus 30. So whose strength? The pony's got a 35 strength.
I got a 30.
Okay.
So I'll push from the back if you want to pull.
Jacob, what's your strength?
21.
21. And Orderic, what's your... You can see them... I'm not sure this is something you would want to do as well, but what's your strength?
28.
Okay. So if the 3 of you kick in, it would bump the chances up to 65%.
Yep. Let's do that.
So the inn isn't flooding yet?
Not yet, no.
No, because
it's flooding, but it's not to the point where, like, if this keeps backing up, it's going to, pull the whole thing down.
Yeah. So Jacob pops off. It's probably up to his waist or more, and and he's going to go, and he's urging on. Come on, Ninny, put your back into it, girl.
Okay. Yeah. Kind of trots and starts trying to surge forward. So, Sean, why don't you do us the honors? Give us a percentile roll, please. 65% chance.
Okay.
Where's that ball going? Oh, so close.
So close.
Okay, so now let's see here. You could... Let's just quickly refresh our memories for what you can do with... Fortune is more than... I can't remember if you can buy a level of success with it, or if that you need to burn fate to do that.
I think maybe add like 2D something, add a D10 or something.
You mean a fortune point is what you're talking about?
Yes, yeah.
I don't think there's anything like that in this edition.
Well, there is, because you can burn fate in this as well, too.
Oh.
Yeah, so the thing is you don't get it back then. You have to,
Right. That'd be an expensive one.
It's a pricey one to replace. Yeah, just one sec here. Oh, once we look it up, we won't have to look it up again.
Page 135.
Oh, awesome. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Bottom of the page.
Oh, right. Yep, I was in the right neighborhood. Okay, so... so yeah, so some of the other fortune point stuff is to just get an extra...
I mean, an extra half action to... Something like that, maybe, or a reroll. I guess the reroll, or an extra half action.
I know in 4th you can do that, but fate points. I thought.
Would you think if I spent it for an extra half action, it would be something like that?
Oh, you're so close. I think I'll let you spend another fortune point to reroll that.
Okay.
If you like. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Because I was reading 4th recently, I got that confused. So go ahead. Come on. There we go. 65. I got a good feeling now.
There we go.
There. Nice. All right. So you think she's sort of like struggling against it, and then you all put your backs into it and pulls it through. A bunch of debris and whatnot sort of rushes past you, and there is something boof, 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 that bumps past you. And I think, why don't... Carl, give us a D3 roll, please. Let's see who gets bumped. Oh, D3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. It'll be Jacob. So you sort of, everything sloshes past, and Jacob, you're sort of like, and bumping things one way or the other.
Well, that makes sense, because I'm way down there. I mean,
Absolutely.
At 4 feet. Like, it's in my face.
Yep. And then you are bumped by... something else, and what this is a face-down body. You're gonna. Would you give me a willpower check, please?
Let me see here.
I keep saying check. It's test in this game.
And let me just check my talents.
Yeah, do you have anything that makes you... Because halflings are quite fearless, right?
Yeah. So I got strong-minded talent. I mean, that's not direct. That's about insanity points. But let's see. Resistance to chaos. So anyway, that's what I got. But I'll make my roll. Okay. Making a willpower check. Unmodified?
Unmodified, please.
Okay.
Ooh. So you sort of are shocked by this. You stagger back and kind of, trip and fall into the water. And then...
I mean, I think maybe like it's behind me and I grab onto it not knowing what it is.
Yeah.
And then, whoa!
Yeah, so Geralt and Odric, you both hear him cry, and he sort of, like, pulls this thing back. Geralt and Odric, would you give me a perception roll, please? It's just going to be whoever rolls best on this. I want to see who spots something.
I see nothing.
You're underwater as well.
It's just the halfling making a bunch of noise down there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Halflings are dramatic.
Seriously.
Mo, you giving us a perception check? Failure by 3, so not nearly as not great.
Drive.
You keep rolling drive. Are you rolling on perception?
Yeah, the character sheet's a bit. Maybe I'll reopen it and not pop it out. I think it's messing some things up.
Offline.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's better. It's popped out. It was all over the place. So.
Okay. So give us a perception check, please. Degrees by 2. Okay, so Orderic, you were the one. This body sort of like Jacob pulls it sort of near him, and then it goes over his head, and he's like, "Rah! Ah!" And you come out the other side of this. But as the body bumps up against your leg, Oderic, and sort of turns around in this flooding water, you can see its head sort of lolls to the side. And you see that there is a third eye set in its forehead. This is a mutant. Would you give us a willpower check, please?
Bosses himself.
Yeah. I'll give you plus...
on the character sheet.
Yeah, for this one, I'm going to give you a plus 10%. And then, Garil, what you can see, I think you're stumbling back further down the alleyway. In that sort of caught up in other bits. Oh, my. So you also sort of have a noticeable reaction to this. You can tell us what that reaction is in a second here. You can see that there are 3 other bodies dressed in similar sort of, commoner's clothing, slowly making their way down, carried by the water. And one of them, you can see, is particularly obese and looks to have been, looks to have been maybe like either waterlogged or for a long time, or just is, that big. And the other, as it drifts to the side, you can see that there are tentacles for legs.
Only Oderic sees this?
Only Garil sees this.
Garil sees it.
Orderic is right now reacting. Mo, what do we see? We'll take our mid-session break in a moment here. But what do we see as Orderic reacts to this body?
Well, you see him sort of like go down to like grab the body, and then he sees the triple eye, and he sort of drops it and goes, "The lady, save us!" And I don't know if there's an equivalent of crossing yourself.
Sure.
So he sort of like
staggers back.
Shock.
So Jacob, you come up, and I think Garil, at this point, what what's causing the other two to freak out so much. So why don't we take our mid-session break right now, guys? I'll go collect my chef's plate stuff before someone else walks off with it. And we'll be back momentarily.
Cool.
Okay.
Hopefully none of us get the galloping trots from trotting around in this
Yeah.
water.
Or turn into mutants. Then we have to kill ourselves.
All right, sorry about that, guys. We had someone's dog is loose, and they've been trying to catch, and Anna's just racing around the backyard. So this poor
Neighborhood
person.
emergency.
Oh, it's just and like we're still some people are vaccinated, some people aren't. So we're like trying to get a mask on to try and help this person try and like get their dog, and of course as soon as they get out, the dog runs down. Then Anna runs away. It's to a different part of the fence. So it was just freaking Benny Hill trying to get the.
You needed a field warden.
Seriously, yeah. It's so smoky here right now too. Like it's like walking out into a campfire. It's just
because of the festival, or
no, because of the forest fires in BC.
Oh, there's forest fires.
Yeah, hundreds of them right now. All right, so the let's pick up from back in that flooded alleyway. So with Orderic and Jacob composing themselves, you can see that the other three bodies are kind of drifting down towards you, Gariel. You'll have an opportunity to sort of like stop them and inspect if you like.
Yeah, actually, I don't want to touch them because they're mutants.
Yeah. The reaction from people in the street once they see the third-eyed one too is to start kind of freaking out as well. What you can see...
I guess I pull out... I have a dagger.
Yep.
So I'm going to pull it out and like prod at them. Make sure they're mutants.
Sure.
Kill the mutant, right? So.
Yeah. So when one of them that drifts up, you sort of poke when the body gets closer, you think that he may have been like a swarthy skinned southerner as the body's drifting towards you, and it's only when you get closer you realize that there is a thin layer of greenish brown fur on this thing's body, and it's got a beak where its nose is. And
jeez,
it reacts not at all as you stab it. The obese body, once it drifts closer, you can see that there are weeping sores all across its distended neck and the back of its head. So I'll leave it to you to decide if you want to stab that one. Its face being down in the water, unless it has gills, which might be possible, it ain't breathing anymore.
Okay.
And then
I'm going to avoid that one.
Okay, yeah, so you just let that drift past. And the final one has those tentacles in the place of legs. So everyone is screaming about this, and this general panic that's happening in the street. There's other things that are going on as well, too. Like there are the water's getting close to high enough to start picking up some of the lower slung wagons. There are people trying to get their wares off of the street. And there is, a kid sitting on a barrel crying for his mother as the water gets up closer and the barrel starts sort of teetering as if it's going to be carried off in the water. Now they've collected themselves. What are Orderic and Jacob doing? You can see that Gariel is sort of inspecting at a distance these bodies as they drift past.
Does Jacob kind of notice everything you just said? Like kind of takes in that whole...
Yeah.
Okay.
Once you collect yourself, I'm picturing you're seeing Gariel quite close to you and seeing all this happen.
I mean, Jacob, I think, inadvertently wrestled with the body temporarily, like, whoa, it's like splashing around and, and then goes for, I've named her now, Ninny, goes for Ninny quickly and, leaps for lunges for the harness to get out of this muck, to get out of the water and to get away from this body. And also seeing that kid, he's going to be going for the kid when he's able.
Sure. Yeah. I think that it will just require an agility test for you. This kid is quite freaked out. It's kind of like a drowning kid, how I can strangle a parent. So you can go ahead, Jacob, give us a agility check to grab that. Actually, agility or ride. I'll let you use either. Okay. And then Gariel and Orderic, how are you reacting to this? Orderic, you've collected yourself again.
So the water's rising. In that case, I think he's going to, as he's swift of foot, he's going to quickly go over his horse in the stable at the back.
Okay.
And sort of get it out.
Sure.
Because I think we're going to have to move to higher ground. He'll look round and say, "Good job, Jacob. Get the kid."
Okay.
Average, Kevin?
Average test, yes. Oh, no, sorry, plus 20%.
Okay, good. All right,
so any sign of that other noble?
When you come right... Nice. With 3 degrees of success, so that was with flourish. What do we see, Jacob?
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty smooth because Jacob also had to untie from the wagon, perhaps. So he goes up on Ninny, like he grabs that harness and pulls himself up like any good, halfling on his trusty pony, who he spent so much time with, leans off the rump of the calling to Ninny, hold fast, Ninny, and holding the harness and pulls the bolt out of the back to get away from that wagon, and then gives it a slap, firmly holding the harness to go for the child, Ninny, and the pony looking very trundling through the water.
Yep.
And we're coming for you, lad. So that's the.
So you go by. The kid is quickly thrown up behind you, and you ride to higher ground to pass him off to his mother. Ordric, when you come riding out, what you can see is that the man that you caught the flash of, he has since come out, and he is splashing through the water and helping out. Like there's a merchant nearby. He's helping hoist stuff up and to get it out of the water and to prevent it being damaged right down in the muck with the rest. And he's got the build of someone that comes from the fighting aristocracy. He definitely has the build of a knight. However, Geralt, because he rolled like a 2, didn't you, on your check? Went that 3 on your intelligence check from before. What I'm going to say, so Geralt, the thing I guess. Well, tell me first off, what is going through Geralt's mind right now with this?
Get out of the water. He might want to try to climb up, but he's not very good at climbing.
Yeah.
And because the nobleman was on the roof, right?
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Not on the roof, on a balcony.
A balcony.
Yeah, a lot of the buildings are 2 stories in Langille.
Oh, right.
Now, one of the things to give context, as much as the material that's published for the role-playing game, for the novels, and for the tabletop game would make you think that chaos is around every corner. That's not the case in the world. At least not. It is a secretive thing. It's known as a threat for sure, but mutants and chaos cults are not the they're the sort of the thing. I'm trying to think of what like a real world comparison would be. It's like, I don't know, like finding out there's a white slavery. It's an awful phrase, but I mean, like there's a sex trafficking ring in your neighborhood.
How many CIA agents do you actually meet? You hear, CIA, but you never actually meet one.
Yep.
That kind of a...
Yep, that's great. Although, funny story. Pretty sure I went to law school with one who... guy was... Yeah. Because the more we heard about his backstory and whatnot, too, and we're like, I
don't think so.
Not CIA specifically, but I gamed with a guy who's in one of the agencies now.
Oh, nice. Hobbs does too. Hobbs plays with. He's got a buddy who's an FBI agent.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. So Geralt, what you? The reason I wanted to mention that is because the thing that's the flooding. You understand, Geralt. This is like once every 10-year kind of thing. It happens because it's with the especially with Morsleep, the Chaos Moon. The tides in the old world can sometimes be unpredictable. But the thing is that is more troubling, though, is the presence of chaos here. And because this is the kind of thing that could kick off an inquisition or the equivalent thereof here. Witch hunters coming from the Empire or elsewhere. What you can tell, though, is with your role from before, this is from somewhere further down the alleyway and a little further, you think you can judge where this may have the water may have come from here. This is not part of the, part of like the direct route from you to the docks. This is somewhere where like water has built up and then burst through something and then flushed out the stuff.
Oh, that's weird. So like from underground or something.
Yeah. It's what happens for some of these things sometimes is that when the water level gets high enough and the pressure gets high enough, it bursts through, clears out stuff, and then rushes it down. So this isn't... The road that you're on sort of would lead directly down towards where the docks are. This is off and to the side, so it'll be much easier to figure out where this came from. Mm-hmm. Your character spent... How old is he again? He's like 60, isn't he?
No, he's not that old. He's relatively young for a dwarf. He's 20.
Oh, God.
So he was a street urchin for a while.
Yeah, so you would have at least... I think there's at least 2 times...
Maybe the last time it flooded, that was spelled doom for his family, too. He was 10 years old.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Yep.
It's kind of cool.
So Geralt, you can pick up that. Oderic, you've come now out with your horse. Jacob has saved that kid. You can see there are other nobles sort of going to work to lift things up. What are you doing, Oderic?
So he's sort of coming out from the side where the stable is. So he's sort of looking around, seeing, is there anyone else in trouble?
Oh, definitely. There's plenty of work to be done if you want to throw yourself into that.
Well, yeah, if there are people struggling, they look like they're going to go under, I can pull them up on the back of the horse and then maybe try and get them to higher ground.
Sure. Okay, so you're doing that?
To, like, repurpose the cart and try and, like, drag it free with people on top, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you want to do that, for sure.
Oh, you could...
Yeah, we'll try and do that and get the
stuff
cart
off
and
make it like a boat.
Yeah.
It floats, right?
Okay.
I mean, Garl's not going to want to stay here while water level's going up, and obviously if it's coming from below, we're not going to check it out anytime soon. So he's going to try to... It'd probably help Audric then, just to see that that's a good plan to try to repurpose the cart there and do something useful with it. You got to save where we drink our beer.
Yeah. So with about an hour of are you sticking around near this area, or are you expanding out trying to find people who are in trouble?
Gorilla would stay around this area, but he'll follow where Audric goes.
Yeah, I think we'll do the initial pass, and then I will, if it's safe, try and go a bit further in.
Sure.
Are there people stuck on roofs?
Yeah.
That maybe have climbed up and they can jump down.
Yeah. This is about 40 minutes in. The flooding seems to be, at hopefully at its worst point. Audric, you have the cart lashed to your horse. Jacob, you're on your pony, and then Garrow, I'm picturing you're riding in the back of the wagon, trying to keep an eye out for where people have where people are coming from, or if there's anyone else here. And you turn down an alleyway, and what you can see is that there is a merchant who has been cornered by a pair of ruffians. Who have weapons drawn. One's got a vicious-looking club that's got, they're standing about, almost up to their hips in water here. But they seem to, one of them has his hand on the back of this merchant trying to get him to open up his shop. And the merchant's kind of fumbling with keys. And the other one is sort of keeping an eye out. I'm just going to make a quick perception check for him, see if he actually... He was not keeping a good enough eye out. Too greedy. So you guys come around the corner. You guys are at sort of the entrance to this narrow alleyway. There's, 2 or 3 story buildings on either side of this. And there are these 2 ruffians who are shaking down this well-to-do merchant. What do you guys wish to do?
We all see that, right?
All of you see that. You sort of come around at the time. I think the one benefit of the flooding is that the sound of your horse's hooves or your pony's hooves completely covered up by the sound of the water. Running water.
The running water.
And the context is pretty apparent to us, Kevin?
Unless they are really aggressive bodyguards, the way that one of them has the merchant by the scruff of his furred collar and is pushing him up against the door, and the other one is shouting and brandishing this crude looking like mace or club kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, Jacob goes for a sling.
Okay.
And kind of, gets light in the saddle.
So let's do this. If we're thinking that there is a contemplation of violence here, guys, why don't we? Let me open up the turn tracker. Okay. Move my stupid dice here first. Let's change the Muzak. It's less friendly, helpful. What about this one? What's this? Yep, that sounds about right. Kevin MacLeod killing it again.
Nice.
All right. Now, I think you may need to click on your token before you make your roll.
Yep. Probably. Usually
it's usually the case. And then go ahead. Remember, you can spend a fortune point to roll 2d10 instead of the 1d10.
Okay. I think I'll do that. So I add one additional dice, I guess. Is that what we do?
I think so. I'm not sure what the prompt is. Oh, it does say additional dice. Oh, sweet. Yeah. Nice. Nicely done. Okay, so I only rolled a 1. So let me do this.
So I wonder how that works.
So you roll a d10 and you add it to your dice, but if you click on the additional dice, it rolls that and adds it in as well.
Okay.
Nice. Okay, so let me find a tokens to represent these guys.
Also, is it the higher, the better?
Yes. Yeah. It goes high down, and then it's just like 3.5 or forward. We just go through one at a time.
Cool.
Okay. Now, these guys aren't nearly as charming as what this illustration would lead you to believe. And I'm going to add one more. Oh, I'll put X's through when they die. Okay. And I rolled for them 33. Okay. For those listening at home as well, it's the first time we're running, or first time I'm running second edition. So apologies if we are taking our sweet time getting through this combat encounter. All right, so guys, you are about, let's say, about what is it? 6 yards away from where these guys are. Okay. So, and you seem to have them completely unaware. So first up is Jacob. Now, what are you going to do, Jacob?
I think, Jacob's instinct is going to be, he's going to, constable-like. So he's going to go light in his saddle, putting weight on his stirrups, get out his, he's going to ready, I guess the action would be a half action ready on his sling.
Okay. Now, this is an excellent opportunity to double check. I think that it works, that mounted combat works in this like it does in a lot of games where you take the lowest of your ride or your skill.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, the mounted.
Let's double check that. I think that that is the case. Let's see here.
Is there a mounted section?
There is flying. There's combat movement, making attacks. Maybe
in the index.
I see, yeah, moving types. Let's see if it's in the index.
Mounted or something. Let's see.
I know it's in the... we'll use that for now. I think that's right. Oh, maybe it's under the ride skill. Hold on.
Oh, right. Good call.
It's just under the ride skill.
That's a good call.
Let's see. Let's see. Nope. Then... I think it's in. I made sure to bring my companion in.
Nice.
Let's see here. Because it sometimes has... and if not in there, I got my old world. Go.
Yeah, because it's going to come up again.
For sure, and this is one of those things like early session things we
Yeah.
just look it up now, and then we won't have to look
Right.
it up again.
Yep.
Mounts, here we go. In the old world, which just showed up from eBay.
Awesome.
My
What book is that?
the old world armory.
Cool.
And it's nothing. It's nothing in here.
Oh man.
I wonder if it's in the Bretonia book, because it's all about knights and stuff. Let's see here. Nope. We'll treat it for that way for now. Take the lower of the two, and then we'll figure out.
Research in between
Yeah,
sessions.
I'll look it up between. I'll add that to the list of things I need to do between sessions. Okay.
So the lowest.
Lowest of ride or whatever your skill is that you're trying to use.
Let's see. Well, you know what? I'm gonna ready my. Oh, here we go. I'll ready my sling,
Okay.
and then I think if it works this way, no, I don't actually. No, I was gonna hold action, but you know what? I think that doesn't work because the hold action costs a half action, and if I ready, I think I'm all done. I think that doesn't work quite that way. So yeah, I'm just gonna ready my sling and yell out, "Unhand that man!" and go higher in my saddle.
Okay.
Ready for action.
Okay. So
Yeah,
let's-
intimidation. What about
Yes.
that? Is there? Yeah,
let's hear intimidation.
he's horrible at it, but that's what he's doing.
Yes, go ahead and give us an intimidate check.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. But let's see.
I'll make a willpower check for them.
The child on the pony is yelling out.
Exactly.
Any modifier, Kevin?
No modifiers for this. No.
Okay. There you go.
Okay.
A child is yelling.
Turns
at
out the pebble was not as intimidating. They both kind of look back at you like.
Yeah.
All right,
Some
then.
youngster.
Garrel, you're up next. What are you doing, Garrel?
So Garal already has his dagger out since he was prodding bodies at some point. He is going to say to them, well, I felt like, I know Blather can be used somehow to distract people in combat, can it?
Yeah,
it could.
It is.
So he's going to try to confuse them and say, and ask them, do you have permission to be mugging people here in this section of town? And then name some, guild, thieves guild leader or underworld leader, is in control here.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna kind of approach them.
Okay. Let's see here. Blather is one of your talents?
The train skill.
Oh, train skill. Okay. Let's see here. Blather.
I thought if not, he's just gonna say that anyway and move forward. And if
Sure.
he's gonna be ready to.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Check for them. Okay. So no, they are. This is like this opportunity clearly has only come upon them because of the flooding. So they're they turn and kind of snarl at you. Says, "Get out of here, you small things." Ordric, what are you doing? Unfortunately, your horse is lashed to the wagon right now. I guess that's not, well, it depends on how you look at it. The fortunate thing is you can get yourself in to close the distance much easier, and Garil is in the back of the wagon.
Now, I'm also fleet of foot, so I'm probably just going to jump off and try and get up behind one and just stick the foil and my sword in his back.
Okay, so let's just be mindful of the action economy. Do you have fast draw or something like that?
No, I don't. I do have fleet of foot.
You keep
maybe
saying
I'll
that.
get up behind them and say, "Excuse me, what do you think you're doing?" in my best noble voice.
Okay.
And I do have. I keep opening and closing my character sheet. Would command work in this? Just
Um,
like to give a command and try and like.
let's see here. I mean, unlikely. Yeah, they're not subordinates, so no. Yeah, command does not allow you to order strangers about, only those that are already under your authority.
No, okay, I thought not.
So what are you doing? There's a bunch of things you said you wanted to do. How are you spending your actions?
Well, I'm going to draw my rapier.
Okay, so that's half action. You got one more half action. What you want to do?
I will move towards them.
What are you getting off the horse?
Yes.
Then that's your half action. You're off the horse.
Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, jump off the horse.
Yep.
Say, hey, you.
All right. So then they, on their turn, they turn towards you, and they one of them says to the other, "You keep him. I'll take care of them." And it moves towards you, and then is going to try and brain you. Now you did not save a half action to parry, Orderic. So you could spend a fortune point to get another half action, or to spend a fortune point to get a parry against this guy, but you don't have to decide that until I see if I hit. So he comes towards you, and this cudgel. Okay. That's a hit. So do you wish to spend a fortune point to get a half action and get ready to parry? So as a reminder, one of the things you need to do in this game is you need to get your parrying stance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I have specialist parry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so can I spend a fortune point to get into the parry stance then?
Well, you can spend a fortune point to add one. Oh shit! Yeah, you need. Okay, let's see here. And you don't have the dodge blow skill, right? That's an advanced skill.
No.
Okay, so you're going to need to have spent a fortune point to gain the parrying stance. Oh shit, get yourself up. Then, so you're down to one fortune point. Then you will need to spend a... hold on, what is it here?
Oh, a fortune for an extra half action to actually parry it? No.
No. Yeah, because he's got the parrying stance and he's good.
Yeah.
Or you can take advantage of a weapon that's in your secondary hand, but you must have a weapon ready and be aware of the attack for the secondary hand. This is where we talked about this on character creation, where shields can be really helpful because you get a free parry out of that.
Yeah.
Or if you had your Mangosh out as well, Orderic, you would have got a free parry with that. So I need you to make then. Would you kindly make a you got that up, your parried ready in action, or your parry stance action. Now you can go ahead and parry. Give us a weapon skill check with your rapier. Now, I think the rapier has an ability that grants it's a parrying weapon, isn't it?
Defensive? Is it defensive?
Defensive. Is that what it is?
I think it's defensive plus 10, perhaps.
Yeah, plus 10 to parry attempts. No, rapier is fast. Enemies get minus 10% to parry or dodge. Doesn't help. I think the Mangosh is defensive, though.
Yeah, I should have probably pulled that out rather than the rapier. I was probably just being a bit dismissive of ordinary ruffians.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to learn this the hard way.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. So go ahead and give us... Oh, shit. You want to spend that last fortune point trying to re-roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so close.
Oh.
Shit. So you nearly get it up in time to defend the... so he brings this cudgel down, and yeah, you clearly misjudged how dangerous this guy is. Oh, you have no protection on your head, do you?
No, just a fancy hat.
Yeah. Okay, so then...
Oh, this is going to tear your hat.
Yeah. It may
now
ruin
I'm
your...
pissed.
My feather!
Yeah, well, you've seen Porthos in the Three Musketeers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oof. Okay, so I'm going to make a strength check. I'm going to try and actually brain you here. Check. Success. So I need you to give us a toughness check, please. What this guy's done, he's just tried to brain you and, like, stun you.
Toughness is up.
Yeah, on top there.
Toughness. I'm actually pretty good at that. And any modifier?
No modifier. If you have, like, helmet or something. Nice! So this hits you in the head. Fortunately, you don't take any damage. He's clearly, this is a, back alley ruffian trying to, Geralt, you recognize game when you see it. This guy was trying to knock Oderic down, clearly wanting to rob him of all his riches. The other one just keeps his hands on the merchant, and that is the end of their turn. Next up is Jacob.
Jacob lets fly. So it's time for, he is half action aim, half action standard attack.
Okay, nice. So there's a little, and against the one that is, hold on, the one that is engaged with Orderic, or the other one?
What is the other one doing?
The other one,
I think you
is
said
he
he's
working
just
on the
grabbing
door?
onto the merchant.
the other one's holding the merchant. So they're technically both in melee kind of right now.
Gotcha. That's what I was after.
Yeah, so it's a minus 20% to your ballistic skill for
Yep,
firing into melee.
Then, since both have that situation, I'll go for the one with Oderic.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, let's see. Sling attack.
At minus 20.
Minus 20, but then plus 10 for the aim, right?
Yes, so minus 10 total.
Minus 10.
Come on.
Oh, so close.
Mm-hmm. Do you wish to spend a fortune point?
Sure. Go
Okay.
for it.
Go ahead. Oh, mess. All right, so sling comes out and zips past your head. Orderic. Next is Geralt. What are you doing, Geralt?
So, let's see, half action. How many half actions do you get?
You get 2 half actions. Yeah, you can either take a full action or you take 2 half actions.
Okay. So I'm going to move up to the guy who attacked Oderic.
Okay, so you leap down. You're in contact with him now.
Okay. So I have my dagger out. So I wonder if it's better to stab or draw my other weapon.
Your call. So
Right,
with
'cause I move as a half action. So
yeah,
that's
move
one.
as a half action. You, you could spend a fortune point to get another half action. You could also, one thing, being the Warhammer Fantasy Second Edition, canny player that you are, you may notice that he didn't ready any parry.
Yep.
He ran up and swung.
That sounds halfling. That sounds pure halfling right there.
Exactly. I just swang that thing.
Yep.
Yeah, he's not in the stance, huh? Not in the parry stance.
Yeah, and what you could do as well is if you missed, Geralt, what you could do is spend a fortune point to then take another half action, get your other weapon out, and you get yourself a free parry then because of the offhand weapon.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna go ahead and try to stab him with the dagger, and then use that.
Yep, please do. Go ahead.
Okay. So I see if this works. I don't know. Is there a ganging up bonus thing?
I don't think there is, but let me take a look at my DM screen here. There may be a flanking bonus.
It
Something.
seemed like there was something.
Actions.
Could be wrong.
Outnumbered 2 to 1, yes, plus 10%.
Nice. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's worth noting the list of combat difficulty, combat modifiers, much shorter in this edition than in 4th.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is a hit.
Nice.
Nice. And I can't dodge. 5 degrees of success.
Wow.
9 damage. Holy hell. All right.
Yeah,
so,
I even put SB -3 in there, so I guess I took it into account.
yeah.
So
Wow.
I think, right? Okay.
What was that? Sorry?
Well, 5 degrees of success. It's a dagger. Just
So it's your
I think it
strength
should-
bonus plus your plus weapon damage, right? That's,
Yes.
I don't know why I put damage modifier -3, but maybe I had it.
Why'd you
No,
put-
that's correct. For a dagger, that's correct.
Okay.
Because the
Yeah,
strength bonus
yes.
-3 is for a dagger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So it should be 0. So I think I did 5 damage, not 9 damage. Or 6 damage, maybe.
What's your strength bonus?
33.
So strength bonus by 3, but you're also rolling a d10.
Oh.
Like you roll a d10 for weapon damage with it as well.
Oh, it's D10 plus that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so, so 9 damage. Ouchers.
Right across his arm.
Yeah. So one of the things there is it's great that it says what location you hit with this.
Yeah, that is great.
But one thing I like about second edition is that you can choose to do basic, where we're not tracking hit locations for like nameless thugs like this, or we can track locations for more important combat.
Cool.
Yeah, I think for more important, you probably do that. For
Yeah.
nameless.
So for now, but it is 9 damage though, which is not. Let's see here. So his toughness is at 3.
I guess it's important for like armor purposes, right?
Yes.
Depending on the location.
But actually, the default armor rules are either light, medium, heavy, full stop.
Yeah.
1 point, 2 point, 3 points of armor, and it doesn't matter what hit location you go for. The only time it comes into play is if you're trying to strike to stun. If Odric was wearing a helmet, for instance, each armor point on his helm gives plus 10% to resist strike to stun. Anyway, that is a hit. So they are. Let's see here. His wounds. I'll put a quick wound thing on here. There we go. So you guys can see. Nope. Bottom overlapping. Boom. Now, watch this. So minus his toughness and his armor is... Oh! So you cut rake across the right arm, and he turns around and says, "Oh, you want some then?"
So I'm gonna get from another. I'm gonna spend a half action to be prepared to parry.
Sure. Okay. So another. Well, you could ready your parry with your dagger, or you could spend it to get another weapon out, and then have the free parry with an
I'll do
offhand.
that. Sure.
Okay. All right. So you got 2. What's your other weapon?
It's a hand axe, a hand weapon.
Nice. Okay.
So I pull out the axe and I probably do like a switch.
Yeah.
Right.
Love it. All right. Then Orderic, what are you doing?
Okay, half action to pull out the main gauche from the other side.
Okay. All
And
right.
then I'm just gonna stab the ruffian in the head, sorry, in the vitals with the
Please
being
do.
so rude.
Okay. So go ahead and give us. You got plus 10% to your
Plus 10
roll.
because we're.
Yep, because you're gang up. Let's see here. Oh. Do you wish to spend a fortune point to re-roll? Oh, you got none left.
I've got none left.
Shit. All right, so you swing at him, but unfortunately, I'm sure it's the flood waters that are throwing you off.
Yeah.
Then it is their turn. All right, so what he is going to do is, I think he's going to attack you, Garil. So you don't need to roll parry until you see whether he hits or not.
Okay.
Okay, so he's going to try and spend half action to try and hit you. He misses. So he swings at you. He should have aimed. And then he adopts a parrying stance to try and keep himself safe. He didn't enjoy getting stabbed by you. You're faster than he looks. And then the other one kind of throws the guard or the merchant against the wall, and he calls out someone's name, Renee! And he comes racing over. So behind you, Garil. So he's going to have a gang up bonus against you. And he's going to try and hit you. He's not going to be saving any kind of defensive thing here. That's a miss as well.
Okay.
Okay. Then it is Jacob. What are you doing, Jacob?
Now there's three ruffians in the.
Yeah, so I can actually, if you want here. There's just 2. There's Garil is facing this guy between you and Orderic, and this guy came up behind you.
So he left he's now leaving the merchant alone.
He has left the merchant alone. He left him and ran over to you where you guys are.
Okay.
So, Jacob, what are you doing?
Jacob, he's got rapid reload talent.
Yep.
So he kind of impressively had grabbed a number of stones in his hand with his sling hand. So he just does this little practice thing where the stone drops out of his hands and goes into the sling really quickly. And so half action aim, half action standard attack, and while he does this, he yells at the merchant, "Get out of there!" And then lets loose with his.
Yep. I'm making Will. He's standing, terrified. Go ahead and make your attack minus 10 net.
Yep. All right. So, yeah,
Okay.
he's being cautious. He can't hit a comrade.
Yep. Gareel, what are you doing?
I'll try to work on this guy that Odric and I have flanked.
Okay, so you get plus 10% for the gang up.
Yep.
And
this time I'll attack him with the hand axe.
Yep, yeah, I've got this thing. And what you could do is you could aim as well, or you could say, because you can get a free parry with your offhand weapon.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I could do what? Aim?
Aim, give plus 10%. That would give you a net plus 20.
No, I might save that action for something. Because I got it. This guy's behind me. We'll see what happens.
So go right ahead.
Oh, man. Oh, so close.
You do have 2 points of fortune left.
Yeah, I'll re-roll that.
Mm-hmm.
Use a fortune point to re-roll. Let's go.
Okay. So that's a miss. You still have another half action. What do you want to do with that?
Yeah, I was going to... can I slide over and just face this guy one-on-one and then...
So if you can, but there is a concept of attacks of opportunity in this.
Oh, okay.
So if you... let's see here. Because I think when I was reading it before, it's quite brutal as well. Because if there's not even really like a withdraw action. Let's see here. Arms. Where is it?
What are you looking for, Kev?
I'm just looking for the where I read that.
Disengage.
Disengage.
Page.
Oh yeah, full action. Breaks off from melee combat. If you try and move away from one or more melee opponents without using the disengage action, each opponent gets a free attack against you.
Mm-hmm.
This is a bonus action is made in addition to any other actions. So yeah, you could do that, Gareel, but you would leave yourself open for an attack. You do still have a free parry banked right now because of your offhand.
That's all right. I'll stay where I am. It's fine.
Stay where you are? Okay, so
parry, yeah.
Anything you want to do with that other half action? You could attack with your dagger.
I can attack with all... Yeah, but then it's a minus 20. Might as well, I guess.
Yeah, now hold on. The two-weapon fighting... do you have any skills with two-weapon fighting?
No.
So you get minus 20% for the offhand attack.
Yeah.
So it'll be a net minus 10 against that same guy. Go ahead. Come on. Critical here. Shit. You do have 1 point of fortune
okay.
left.
I want to see... that's fine.
Okay, so I think what...
Try and lose a dagger.
Yeah, I think that in the course of trying to do that, he spins and your dagger kind of gets caught up in the cloak, and maybe something that was hidden under the water, that you sort of stumble on it, so your attention is turned for a second, your dagger falls down into the flood waters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's good sitting on that last fortune, because do you want to spend a fortune to get a parry action ready?
Yeah, I'll have to recover and get a parry ready.
Okay, so then it is Ordric's turn. What are you doing, Ordric?
Well, okay, I'm going to attack.
Okay. So half action to attack.
And it's plus 10, isn't it? 20.
Plus 10.
Plus 10, sorry.
For the gang up. Go.
Man.
Miss. Now, what?
Awful.
You still have another half action. You could attack with your Main Gauche at minus 20.
But I still have the parry then.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll try that then. And this is a minus 10.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, success.
Nice.
All right, so he did have a parry ready, so let me make my parry check here. Failed. So that's a hit. 3 points of damage. Ugh. All right. And he's used his parry. Oh, no, hold on. because of the toughness. Unfortunately, that's not going to get through.
Yep.
All right. Then it is their turn. Okay, so he turns to you, Ordric. Is not... Wait, that is not right.
Okay. Like he gained hit points. He's a mutant.
Yeah.
Kill him.
He's regenerating. Because you did 9, you did 5 to start with, so he should be at... There's where he should be. Okay. All right. It should, yeah. I mean, the character sheet is good enough that it should track that as well. Okay, so the one behind Gareel, he is not screwing around. He's going to aim, so he's got plus 20% to his attack here. That is still a miss. So he's trying to get in at you. And then the other one is going to attack Ordric again. He will not... He wants to keep that parry on deck here. Ordric, I hit. You've got a parry with your offhand. Go ahead and give us a WS check with your Mind Gauche. And it's plus 10%, I believe. So give us an attack test with Mind Gauche at plus 10%.
Oh, nice.
Oh, good stuff. All right. So he brings that club down at you, and you're able to move it to the side. Jacob, what are you doing?
Jacob drops another stone in his, so many times it's persistence. You just got to stick with it.
Yep.
And lets another, and let's see. So they're both still engaged, right?
Yep.
So it's still mass. Okay.
You can see a slowly spreading wound from the one that is kind of between the two of them.
He'll go for the wounded one.
Okay, go right ahead.
All right. So
Does not have dodge blow, so can't do anything with that.
Net minus 10. Aim, fire. It's that minus 20. I would have hit him multiple times here. It's tough avoiding my comrades.
Yeah. Then, Gareel, what are you doing?
Team missed again. I'm going to tell say halfling, quit screwing around and get this guy off my back and focus on this guy.
Yep. Go right ahead.
The hand axe.
Come on.
10.
That may be a lethal one if he doesn't
Night.
make this parry. Okay. Come on. No, a 66 is not going to be good enough. So why don't you... Now, this is one of the... We don't use critical hits for lesser foes for it. But just for fun, that was the right leg. Why don't you give us a D10 roll there, Carl?
Yeah, D10. 2. Yeah, that's a...
Unpleasant crunch. It numbs the opponent's leg. His movement is reduced by 1. He's just dead. So you hack him in the leg and he kind of... And you follow it up with a second hit to the face. He is dead, and of course he's the one in the fucking initiative. I said to myself I wouldn't do that, and he immediately did it. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. I know. I only rolled a 1 for their bonus, so easy to get.
33.
Yeah.
Right, so.
Yeah. Alrighty. So that was after Odoric. All right. So then the other guy, I'm gonna make a willpower check for him. Having seen his ally murdered. Okay. Gareel. I didn't critically fail this, so he is going to disengage from you.
Okay.
That's his full round. Oh, actually, you still had a half action, too. What did you want to do with your half action?
I think I'll just get that parry ready, just in case.
So, yeah, you get your defense. Then on his turn, he's going to disengage, and he's looking like he's going to try and run away. Jacob.
Okay.
This guy's about halfway down the alleyway right now.
Okay.
Finally, he's...
I thought we were blocking the alley, but it's not a dead end.
Yeah, there's 2 different ways.
Me next?
Yeah. After Gareel? Oh, we missed you. Yeah, sorry, Ordric. What were you planning on doing?
Well, as I see that one drop and that one running away, can I run after him?
Well, he's going to be acting after you. So what you could do is run in and engage with him. You could get one attack off on him.
Yep, I'll do that.
Yeah, go ahead. Nope. Okay, so then he does not need it fair. So then he is running away right now. And Jacob, what are you doing?
Jacob is letting fly. He aims and fires.
Okay, go ahead.
I think it's the same thing. Is he engaged right now?
He's not. He's all on his own now.
Beautiful. So plus 10 net for my aim.
Yep. There you go. Success. 10 damage. Nicely done.
Wow. Is that right? Let's just check. This is our first time. My first damage time with the sling. So, because it should have been. The sling does 3 damage as a static.
Yep. So 3 plus.
How did it get to 10?
Degree 6 is 5. Plus a 7, I guess.
2 degrees of success. So.
Yeah. Must have rolled a 5 for the damage.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't give us like.
So it's degrees is a success. Yeah.
Degrees of success is part of the damage.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird that it doesn't show you. I mean, none of them show you the math.
The die rolls.
The breakdown.
Yeah. If you hover over them. So, all right. So 10 damage.
Nice.
So then, yeah. And he staggers down, quite injured. Garil, what do you want to do?
I guess we're going after this guy.
Well, he's fallen down, hasn't he?
Nope.
He isn't falling down.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, Gorilla's of the mind. This guy realized he made a mistake, and he's, just trying to survive, much like Gorilla did way back. Probably ran a lot, I'm sure.
Yep.
So he's going to just let him go and try to fish around in the muck for his dagger.
Yeah. Give us a perception check. No modifiers.
Okay.
See if you can grab that dagger.
I mean, he's gonna say, "Let him go." He realizes his mistake. All right.
Okay, and then Orderic, you're gonna be up next. What are you doing?
He'll remember that big bruise and broken bones, right?
Well, I think he should be captured and turned over to the authorities. So I'm going to plunge after him in the water.
Okay.
Try and catch up to him.
All right. So I think you. See what disengage says. I can't remember if.
All right, so I guess I found it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Easy.
Well done.
All right. So, disengage. Moves his move.
I think he gets. Is it a? Oh, is it?
I think you need to spend your whole action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a full action
to actually get. So what you could do is you could do a charge attack. You could race up towards him, and you make one attack at plus 10.
Okay.
Yeah, there's otherwise no other modifier. So go ahead. You can attack at plus 10. You go racing after this guy. Yeah! Hit!
Dang.
Yeah, and then he kills him. Odor comes racing up and then skewers this guy as he's trying to get away. And he plunges down in the water. All right. And with him dead, that brings our first combat to an end. So you turn...
Well, I guess it's successful. No one's injured.
Yep.
Yeah.
The merchant is still kind of looking at what's going on, and he sort of snaps out of the initial fear and says, "Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir." Recognizing your nobility.
Yeah. Well, Gorilla's gonna let Odric talk to this guy, and he's gonna, I guess, do the dirty work and search the bodies.
Okay.
Since I'm sure Odric, murder hobo that he is, cannot be bothered.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. All right.
That is the servants do that. You're very welcome.
I guess it'd be murder nobo.
And I'll doff my to him.
Now give us. Go ahead, Mo.
No, I'm going to ask him. Does he need an escort to somewhere safer?
I'm going to make one more. He's collected himself, and he says, "No, I'll lock myself inside."
Jacob has Ninny trot over to the trembling merchant.
Yep.
And reaches over, takes out of his cloak and reaches down with an apple. And and says to him with a wink, he says, "Apple a day keeps Moore's hand at bay." And,
nice. He sort of looks and looks at the apple, looks up at you. He's fairly perplexed. He may not be familiar with halflings as well too. Yeah, this man's voice comes from it.
Yeah.
So then he turns and sort of like throws the door open, struggles a bit with the floodwaters to push the door closed, but then eventually manages to get it closed. It does seem like the floodwaters are actually subsiding now as well. Now what I'm looking for is, I think in the bestiary, I think I've got treasure tables. If not in here, it's in the companion. I was reading through, sort of getting myself situated with the random tables that are available in the game, because I do like my random tables. So let's see here. Chaos mutations like that. Yep, love it, love it. Okay. And there we are. All right. And I'm looking at the GM's packets as well. Can't remember if they have income. There we go. So that's in that. All right, let's see. Okay. So I think what we'll say is, because I can't seem to. I thought that I saw a treasure table in here, but I don't remember where.
I figure they can't have a few pence or.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give. They will have, yeah. I think each they're going to have. 50 pennies on them.
Oh, okay. So 50 pennies total?
50 pennies each.
Oh.
They were grabbing shit, before they managed to track down this merchant. So, no doubt these ne'er-do-wells were shaking down others.
Yep, I guess the luck of these ruffians has run out.
Oh, most definitely. They are in Moore's domain now. So, with that, the water is beginning to subside, and there is.
Do we need to report this to the authorities, or what do we do?
Watch.
Well, Odric will do.
Yeah.
There's a town watch.
I mean, I think they've got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
There's with the bodies. This is not,
Yeah.
And I think like Odric, you would know this as well too. Like, there's not. What the justice that would have been doled out would have been what's been done. Mm-hmm. So unless you're offering to bury these things or deal with the bodies, it's not really necessary.
What weapons were they carrying, by the way?
They were carrying. Sorry, what were they carrying?
Weapons and armor.
Oh, I don't care, but
yeah. Would your character really care? It's not D&D, so
Gorilla doesn't care. I mean, they have truncheons or saps.
It's cudgels. It's the equivalent of hand weapons, but they would be cudgels.
Yeah, I don't care about. I'd be if Ordric did that, I'd probably raise an eyebrow if he cared about more than their money.
Yeah, they have light armor on, but I mean, like, it's disgusting.
Or even if he cared about why would Ordric care about pennies? I don't know. He's a noble, right?
Yeah, it'd be something that Garil would be scrambling for.
He's a poor noble.
Yeah.
He wouldn't actually admit it, but still, it buys breakfast for the next few days.
So I've been watching Downton Abbey recently, so I know all this stuff now.
Downton Abbey by way of the old world.
Yeah.
I love it. I probably would have enjoyed that show more. There's chaos and fusions. All right.
Yeah,
so,
I'm actually, of course, I'm thinking whenever I watch a show, how can I gamify this? What game
yep,
would work?
absolutely. It's all stuff that's filed away back there to draw on.
Call of Cthulhu, Downton Abbey.
So
I'm sure it will be around at some point.
There is a Jane Austen Cthulhu crossover, I believe.
Yeah. There's a Jane Austen and
yeah.
Zombies one for sure. Because it's Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, with you guys, making with the town or the neighborhood, I guess, sort of getting back to normal, as it were. Mm-hmm. The thing that really seems to be dominating, everyone's thoughts right now, as things are getting by, is of course the bodies of the mutants.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys weren't mutants; these ruffians were just ruffians.
These were just thugs. Yeah, these were just criminals. I think Garil, if you asked around, you actually may have friends in common with these two thugs.
Yeah, unfortunate.
But the mutants, though, now
we warned them.
Orderic, if you are looking to find ways to improve your station, particularly with the people that are in positions of influence within. How do I always forget the name of this town? It's really
Langille?
Langille, thank you.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm
going to have to put a post-it up on the thing here.
It's a little tough.
If French, yeah, I just don't...
Yep. You look at it, it doesn't give it away.
Yeah. Well, it does. It's I so rarely have French words come up. Even you would think they would more as a Canadian, but not out west. All right, so then, or what you're thinking is, if you're able to, like a chaos incursion is no small thing. You may be able to make, if you could find where this stuff is, like you could find that where this cult was located.
Mm-hmm.
If your character is sort of thinking of social climber as your next career path, that would certainly be a way to impress the people of both power and means in Langille.
And I will say, Jacob, with his background in the unholy a bit, with patrolling the moot, has on his mind some, now that the immediate threat, the child and the robbery, to kind of look into this. Let's get to the bottom of this. What's going on over here?
So,
and where do these bodies come from?
The flood itself lasts about maybe an hour and a half, and then you guys in the latter part of it too. It's not. I don't think it's really occupying lots of your attention, because it's sort of waiting for the waters to go. So you would have had time to talk about this and what your plan is for.
Yeah, I tell Gorilla, I tell Jacob when he says that, where do they come from? Gorilla will point below. I feel like when these floods happen, things come out from. Does Langille have sewers?
Yep.
I say the sewers.
Could be sewers, or a burst basement. Like a lot of these places have,
or a city. I mean, the cities build on top of each other.
Totally. Yep.
Like Edinburgh, right? So,
interesting
Paris,
thing,
right, has extensive catacombs.
Yeah.
And I think one interesting thing about Langille as well too, that I've sort of buried the lead on. Let me make sure I've got this right here.
Apparently, like Portland also has a extensive city under the city.
Seattle as well too.
Yeah,
Seattle. I've done a tour when I lived in Vancouver. Cool. We went down for a weekend. It's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. You can see at least, this is going back 15 years, but like there was still the remains of an episode of Kolchak the Night Stalker that was shot down there.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately, I missed the trip. You can actually go in these sort of walled off bits of Edinburgh's down below.
Yeah. It's cool down there too. I did the Edinburgh one when I lived in Scotland. I'm confused. Oh, what? Yes, so here's the neat thing about Langille. I thought this was the case. Langille is built on top of a former elven city. The elves built the original one, and there is a massive lighthouse, and there is walls that extend from the lighthouse that rise 60 feet above the street and are broad enough to ride 6 abreast along the top.
No.
They're equipped with cannons and stuff now, but it's got a distinctly elven look to it. So, with that said, what are you guys thinking? Now that the water has sort of subsided down to just being a bit of a flooding that will naturally sort of go away through the sewers, and as the tide abates.
Yeah, as much as Goril is very self-centered, he doesn't like the idea of chaos and what he knows about it, what he's probably heard about it, in whatever book of grudges he may have seen a long time ago.
Yeah.
He is definitely would be motivated, especially if it ruins the underground trade and stuff.
Yep.
It's going to ruin how things normally go in the underground, which is smuggling and stuff.
The touch of chaos and the insidious influence of chaos, it can affect any sort of level, but the poor, I think, are more often than anyone else the first victim of chaos, because no one pays attention. And in particular, in a place like Bretonia, where there is such a division between the upper class and the lower class, that it's easy for that to get lost. And Jacob, I think you would be, at the very least, and as part of your training, I know your focus is more on the undead, but having dealt with the beastmen in the forest and heard about the influence of chaos cults as well, it's a rot that can corrupt and twist a city.
Oh yeah, Jacob's definitely. I mean, it's not like he really had anything going on anyway. He escorted the wagon here and he delivered the message. So this is a great. He loves the. He's very interested. He's motivated.
One other bit of for those who are more inclined to the canon of this. Remember that Jacob actually rode across much of the Empire recently as well too. And this campaign takes place, second edition takes place shortly after the Empire was nearly consumed by an army of chaos. So there's just there you would have traveled across. Think of the 30 Years War in Germany, that period where just everyone fought everyone and burned everything to the ground, and every foreign country came in and fought there and continued burning shit to the ground. So that's sort of what you would have had, a stark reminder of what chaos can do. Even a entity as powerful as the Empire could nearly be reduced to rubble and ruin.
Yep.
So, what's the plan then, guys?
Well, on a small level, I don't know what Odric's grand plans are, but on a small level, Goril's wants to go check on his drinking and eating place.
Okay.
See how they're doing. Give any help he needs. He's gonna give 50 pennies to help.
Okay.
It's gonna say, I'm gonna pay my tab today. I think it's been a bad day all around, madam. And he's gonna give 50 pennies.
Sure. So the thing is, if you're trying to locate wherever these mutant bodies came from, you're going to want to do that before the tide subsides.
Okay.
Otherwise, it will be difficult to use that as a way of tracking it down. Chaos, if nothing else, is very secretive too.
Okay.
So with Goril and I think because building on that 2 that you rolled from before, you're maybe on the ground, I suppose, while Ordric and unless Ordric and Jacob, do you want to stable your horse and pony, or do you want to ride those along?
It depends on the water for Jacob.
Low enough for Goril to comfortably walk around as well.
Jacob's it's low. It's pretty low.
Yeah, so it'll be same height. The reason I mentioned Goril's a dwarf, so he's about the same.
Yeah, he is 4'11" though. So. he's
11 inches on me, eh? I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, if the flood's going down, I'll take the horse back and
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys stable the horse, and
Yeah.
it takes a...
make sure he's okay and like brush him down just to, he's okay.
So knowing, well, I mean, again, like if you're going to do that, then you're going to be wasting time that could be spent trying to... Once the tide goes away, it may be difficult to find where these bodies came from.
Oh, I see. If it's time of the essence, no, in that case,
Yeah, then-
I'm going to take the horse with me and we'll just tie it up outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you need to go down in dungeons and stuff.
Yeah. So, Guriel, this is your town. Like, you know this place, having grown up here, especially some of the seedier back alleys and such.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not hard for you to sort of follow along where you sort of think that the water may have built up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And what you come to is let me bring you over here. Whoop. Okay. All right. It takes you a little while to find this cul-de-sac that is actually fairly low. You wander for about maybe 15 minutes further down. You guys follow him along, and everyone's, you're passing scenes of people trying to recover. Basements have been flooded. There's some dead animals that are on the street. Maybe more than a few bodies as well too, just that got caught, under in the basements or whatnot. But you reach this cul-de-sac that's off to the side, and it's quite low. But there is one building that seems to be, and the whole place is completely abandoned at this point. There's still the people here have not come back. And it's quite low. It's quite low in relation to some of the other places. You think that it may have been a matter of once the floodwater reached a certain point, suddenly this place filled up, and then it suddenly sort of would have burst. You can see that there are a couple of burst things, a couple of burst cellar doors. Mm-hmm. The thing that catches your eye is in the middle of this. There is a building. Looks like this. And the reason it catches your eye is because there is a small window in the bottom there next to the step that is next to, seems to lead to an underground cellar. And there is...
thing here?
Yes. And there is a body lodged in there.
In the window.
In the window, yeah.
Oh, look at this. It's like
and this thing, near the grate or under the window, same place.
Sort of like wedged,
right.
Yeah, wedged against the window.
Ah.
Almost like maybe it tried to grab hold and then drowned.
With a wink at Guriel, Jacob says, "Oh, maybe Renaud even just left this here for us. Look at this trail." And goes to carefully observe the body without touching it.
Sure.
Don't touch it with your hands, though.
Jacob, why don't you give us a perception check at plus 20, please?
All right. Perception 20. Disturbing. He's,
So there's not... Weirdly, there doesn't seem to be anything chaotic. There's no obvious signs of mutations on this body.
He takes his dagger. He's poking around a little bit in the pockets or something.
Sure. So you're poking the pockets. Guriel and Odric, what are you guys doing?
I think I'm going to keep an eye out behind just to make sure that we're not.
Well, Guriel doesn't mind getting his hands dirty, so if Jacob doesn't
Sure.
sift through the body, Guriel's gonna prod it with the dagger.
Sure.
And with gloves on, you know.
So, Guriel, why don't you...
I will get off the horse and get my weapons out, though.
Okay. So, Order, can you get your weapons ready? Guriel, why don't you give us a perception at plus 20, please? Okay. So yeah, it's odd. This body, until you start really poking around on it, it doesn't seem like there's any oddity to this one. Odric, why don't you give us a perception at plus 20?
Oh.
I know your perception's not stellar, but...
my character sheet appears to have died on me. Perception was 18, wasn't it?
So here, I'll just roll it for you.
Yeah. Because I can't keep the pop-out one over it because it just gets in the way of everything, so I have to keep reopening it. No.
You know you can double-click at the top and it'll minimize it, right?
No, then all the talents go skew with.
No, but you don't have to... I don't mean make it smaller. I mean, if you double-click at the top, it turns it into a tiny little bar.
On the screen.
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so unfortunately, yeah, none of you guys can see. So it's weird. This body seems to have called on to the side there. Gorilla, you're the one who rolled the closest to the best here. Gorilla, can you hear voices from down below?
Oh, there are people here, maybe. So I kind of pull up my hand and give a whisper. Is there a way to climb down there? Go inside?
Doesn't seem to be a way in through there. But I'm assuming that you guys would then sort of try to look around. And
here or a cellar? Or...
Yep, what you can find.
Yeah, I assume there's this trap door.
There's the door itself is unlocked, and you can try and find your way in. But if you look around first, because often these places, it's exterior access to the cellar.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, exterior cellar.
And you can find it, yeah. There is around back. There is a cellar door that is burst open.
I'll have taken a little look in that window. Is there anything visible just from peering down? He's got night vision.
Okay, yeah. So peering down, and there's nothing. That someone has put a like a gauzy piece of like a fabric or burlap or something over it to specifically prevent people from kind of snooping in the basement. Okay. But Gorilla, you get to the back and you throw back or you sort of can push back the flooded open doors. Mm-hmm. And what you can see is stairs leading down. Do you make any effort to keep yourself quiet?
Gorilla is going to try to, I think.
Silent move?
What is it? Silent move? Is that
Silent
what it is?
Move,
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'll give you plus 20 to this as well, too.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
So you very carefully make your way down, your dwarven eyes studying what you can see. And when you get to the bottom, you can see that it is about 2, 3, what is that, 4, 5, 6. So it's about 20 feet from where you get the bottom of the stairs to the far side. It's about 1.5 times that size, left and right. The first thing you see right before you is, I guess for one, the temple itself is a mess. There's stuff strewn around all over the place. There's still evidence of the flooding. But you can see an altar ahead of you. And I take it you don't have any academic knowledge in, like, demonology, history, magic, necromancy, or theology. Yeah.
Common knowledge, dwarves.
No, okay. So you don't need to have any of those to know that this is not... Whatever this thing is in veneration of, this altar, it is not one of the accepted gods. It's got to be something of a dark cult. But the next thing that catches your attention once you get fully down there to your left, there is a door made of iron bars. And behind that, there are 5 cold and frightened peasants, completely soaked through. And there is one who reaches his hands through the bars and says, "Is there someone there? Please help us!" And that is where we will end our session, guys. So, congratulations on getting to the end of our first session.
Yeah.
Lots of looking up rules, but that is all going to benefit us for going down the road. Let's see here. All right.
You know, and for our knowledge, so I guess fortune points would not reset, right? Because it takes a day, not a session.
Correct.
Okay.
In nice sleep. So yeah, so we'll leave our fortune points where they are for now.
Yep.
Then for those listening, and we don't. I'm undecided as to when I'm going to award XP for this. We'll see, because we tend to play at a slower pace than normal. But I'm not really fussed about you guys outpacing yourself. So why don't we do this? Let's have some fun. You guys get 100 XP for today's session.
Nice.
Okay.
So you can choose to. I think I should be able to buy you an advancement if you choose.
Is that on the sheet? I think there must be on the sheet.
I believe so. Yeah.
And primary
Experience is right at the top.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, and then career history is where you manage what your advancements are and what you're spending it on.
Okay. And we can spend it on stuff that's in our.
Yeah, so you can spend it on your.
We got to look at what advancements we need.
Yep. And you do need to complete the advancement for your career before you can move on to the second one.
Like, for example, like agility needs to get a 10.
Yeah, so in each advancement gives you plus 5%,
Mm-hmm.
or gives you, So, great. All right, so then for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for session 1 of our Warhammer Fantasy campaign, or adventure at least, the Fears of the Faceless. As is always the case, it was a bit of a rocky start here for us trying to figure out how certain things work, but we will be all the better. We appreciate you joining us as we're learning this new game for us. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of the video, and we will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. You can also find a link to in the description of the video to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where all of us are active. This is where we have channels dedicated to this game, this campaign, and every other game we run on the channel, as well as a bunch of other great channels dealing with finding a group, for dealing with, setting up virtual tabletops, selecting between different streaming services or ways to set up your streaming, and selecting between different tabletops, as well as just a bunch of other great conversations and a bunch of great people. In addition, you can find in the description of the video a link to the Heroes Save Villages campaign. That's the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really terrific organization active in over 130 countries that benefits over 80,000 orphan and abandoned children. All money donated through that goes directly to SOS Children's Villages International, and none of it goes to the channel, none of it goes to any other middleman. And for every $25 that you donate, Canadian, that gives you one chance to win one of the great prizes we have in our next charity raffle. The next charity raffle will be on August 1st, 2021, and the grand prize is a copy of Beadle and Grimm's Legendary Edition Curse of Strahd box set. The second prize is a copy of Beadle and Grimm's Shadowy Silver Edition of Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. So 2 great prizes that were donated by our friends at Beadle and Grimm, for which we are very, very grateful. If you don't win that, you can win a bunch of other great prizes too. There's a chainmail dice bag made by our resident armor smith, Dave. There is a couple Dungeon Crawl Classic modules donated by our buddy George. There is 2 books from the Lazy Dungeon Master series that were donated by a super fan and a great member of the community, Lord Zordran. There's also a copy of the relatively new Jackal's Bronze Age fantasy game, fantasy RPG. I really have enjoyed that game quite a bit, and we have picked up a copy and donated that. The author of the game as well, too, GM DeFogie, has very generously donated a copy of their brand new campaign, The Fall of the Children of Bronze, for a prize. There is a copy of the Acton Cthulhu game, the new ones that came out, because I'm a dummy and bought an extra copy by accident. And in addition to all of that, there's also some great prizes from our Dungeon Musings Redbubble shop. So lots of great prizes to win, lots of great opportunities to get some great gaming gear and to help out some kids who could really use some help. Anna is really in favor of that. Hi, sweetie. The timing of this dog is incredible. We also, if you donate or have donated since April 1st and up until August 1st, you get a say in what charity games we run on the channel, and there still is voting going on for the next charity session. So if you have made a donation since April 1st, be sure to head over to the Charity Initiatives channel on the Dungeon Musings Discord. Cast your vote for which pulp action game we're going to be playing next. And then the week before, be sure to check out how you can vote on either what gear our heroes will end up with or what story elements. Oh, we'll incorporate. I know. Anna really wants to see Adventure played again, so if you want to support Anna's choice, be sure to head over there and cast your vote. Last thing I'll say is a huge thank you to our players for today. So Carl, Mo, Sean, thank you so much for joining me in the old world. It was great to get the party together, and congrats on getting your first advancement, guys.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
For those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us. We will be back in the old world in 2 weeks' time. Until then, we hope this finds you healthy, safe, and weathering the current crisis as well as can be expected, whatever the current crisis may be. You know, I was thinking that when the pandemic comes to an end, we may be able to transition that, but like with the fucking flooding and fires and whatever, it sort of is an evergreen outro. Right. So whatever you're dealing with on your end, we hope this finds you healthy, safe, and weathering that crisis as well as can be expected. We hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes in the old world get themselves up to. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.
All right.